This is Audible.
BBC Audio presents the Ngaio Marsh BBC Radio Collection by Ngaio Marsh, starring Jeremy Clyde as Chief Inspector Roderick Alleyn. A Man Lay Dead by Ngaio Marsh. First broadcast on BBC Radio 4 in 2001. Dramatised by Michael Bakewell and produced and directed by Enid Williams.
The murder game before. One person is chosen as the killer, his identity being carefully concealed from the other players. Tonight at dinner, one of us will discreetly be handed a little scarlet plaque by the butler. He or she will get one of us alone, tap him or her on the shoulder and say, "You're the corpse." He will then switch off the lights and the victim falls down as though dead. Then the murderer gives a terrific swipe to the Assyrian gong like this.
We present Jeremy Clyde as Chief Detective Inspector Alleyn in A Man Lay Dead by Ngaio Marsh.
I wish the murderer could have waited until I'd finished my nails.
I can't see a thing.
Someone turn the lights on, for heaven's sake. Now, careful, Marjorie. Keep hold of the banister.
Can anyone find the switch? It's just at the bottom of the stairs.
I'm there. I've got it.
Well, here's our corpse. Right beside the gong.
It's Charles.
Good old Charles.
Don't touch him. Don't anyone touch him. You must never disturb the body, you know.
The lady speaks with more wisdom than she knows. This man is dead. Undoubtedly, let us not touch.
He can't be dead. Charles! Oh, my God! Charles! Charles! Come back to me!
Where was this? Frantic Hall? Well, that's a Hubert Hansley's place, isn't it? Chap who used to be ambassador to Russia. Well, I'll be there just as soon as I can. It ought to take me about a couple of hours. Who's in charge there? I see. Sergeant Bunce.
A very nasty business, Inspector Allen. The superintendent being took very bad with the flu and no one here to handle the case, we rang up the yard immediately.
And where's the body?
It's been moved, sir.
Moved?
Into the study. Well, it's no good looking at me. Apparently, it had already been so much disturbed and pulled about, the doctor decided it wouldn't make much difference.
And where's the doctor now?
Oh, he's gone. Got called off to another case.
I see. Well, there's no point in making a song and dance about it now. But who was the victim?
Name of Charles Rankin. A writer of some sort, apparently, and an old friend of Sir Hubert's. He was one of a party of 5 guests spending the weekend at Frantic. They're mostly old friends, I understand, and get together here quite often with Sir Hubert and his niece.
His niece?
Yeah, Miss Angela North. Oh, a really charming young lady. Anyway, on these occasions, there's generally a game of some sort in the offing. Last night, they were playing something called Murders. Well, you may have heard of it, sir.
I'm not frightfully keen on busman's holidays. Where was the body lying?
Just over here, Inspector, at the foot of the stairs, alongside the gong.
The floor's been washed.
And the gong's been disinfected.
How is he lying?
On his face, apparently. A dagger had been driven in between his shoulders and had pierced the heart. The doctor reckoned that death would have been instantaneous.
Right. I think that before we go any further, I'd better have a word with Sir Hubert.
He's in his room, sir. The doctor told him to rest for a while on account of the shock of it all. But his niece, Miss Angela, is expecting you and should be down shortly.
And where are the rest of the party?
They've been warned not to leave the house, or at least to go no further than the grounds and the gardens. Just at this moment, one of the ladies is in bed and the rest of the bunch is in the library. A solving of the mystery.
Ever had dealings with a case of this sort before, Sergeant?
Never, sir. Petty larceny is the best they can do in these parts, with a smack of furious driving. This will be a bit of an ad for the village, if looked at in the right light. We've got a special reporter on the spot, too.
What do you mean?
A Mr. Nigel Bathgate of the Clarion. He's one of the guests staying here.
Singularly fortunate.
Here he is now, sir, with Miss Angela.
Hello, Inspector. We were told you were on your way. This is Mr. Bathgate, who has been very kind and helpful in telegraphing and telephoning and all that.
He is Mr. Rankin's cousin.
How do you do?
How do you do? Well, I'm very sorry. This must all have been most distressing for you. Is there somewhere we can talk, Miss North?
There is no one in the drawing room. Shall we go in there?
I think it might be best if we began with a rundown of the guests. Perhaps we should start with the dead man, Charles Rankin. He was your cousin, Mr. Bathgate?
Yes, he was, though I really didn't know him all that well. He was a writer. You may have come across some of his books.
He was a bachelor?
Yes. I think he was rather reluctant to commit himself to matrimony. Women seem to have found him rather irresistible.
I didn't.
And did he have any close relatives?
Well, no, not really, except for me, of course. I'm his heir, I believe, and he left me the bulk of his property, though I think that Arthur Wilde may come in for a bob or two.
And was this your first visit to Frantic?
Yes, it was. I'd heard a lot about Sir Hubert's house parties, of course. Charles decided it was time I was initiated. We travelled down on the train together. The other guests, Arthur and Marjorie Wilde and Rosamond Grant, were in the next carriage, although we didn't realise that until we got to the station here.
Hello, Rankin. Thought you must be on the train somewhere.
I looked out for you at Paddington, Arthur. Have you met my cousin Nigel Bathgate? This is Rosamond Grant.
Hello, Miss
And
Bathgate.
Arthur and Rosemary Wilde.
How do you do? You're going to have to walk, Charles. There'll never be room for us all in the Bentley.
You can sit on my knee, Marjorie.
Here comes Angela in the fire eater. Now, there will be tons of room for everybody.
What a disappointment. Our passion is thwarted, Marjorie.
Nothing on earth would induce me to drive in that scene with Angela. Famous archaeologists should not flirt with death.
So I drew the short straw, so to speak.
How very ungallant. But you were very brave. And I'm quite a careful driver, really.
Mr. Rankin, Mr. and Mrs. Wilde, Rosamond Grant. Were those the only other guests?
Oh, no, there was...
Excuse me, we have not met. Allow me to make an introduction of myself. Dr. Fuma Tokarev.
Nigel Bathgate.
I see you are admiring Sir Hubert's collection of Oriental weapons. He is a great authority.
Yes, some of them look pretty ferocious.
I am told we are to play a game of murderings. That should be jolly good fun, should it not?
Yes.
Uncle Hubert has a passion for party games. I used to think them frantically amusing, until last night.
And the dagger with which Rankin was murdered, was that an item from your uncle's collection?
Swords and daggers of every conceivable size and shape. Long and thin, short and stubby, with nasty, jagged edges. The murderer certainly has plenty of weapons to hand.
Put that beastly thing away, Rosamond. Gives me the horrors. All knives do.
In that case, I'm going to terrify you, Marjorie. I'm actually carrying a dagger in my overcoat pocket.
How perfectly disgusting. But you've always had an overdeveloped sense of melodrama.
Why on earth have you brought it with you?
It was sent to me yesterday by a countryman of yours, Dr. Tokarev.
How very strange.
That's exactly what I thought. I met him in Switzerland last year, did him rather a service, lugged him out of a particularly nasty crevasse. He'd lost 2 fingers through frostbite. Now, I brought it down here to show Hubert. It's in my overcoat in the porch.
I'll get it.
I hope you don't expect me to look at it. It's like one of those nasty things you write about in your books. That's why I never read them anymore.
Poor Marjorie has an aversion for knives or pointed weapons of any sort. It probably conceals a rather interesting repression.
Do you mean that she's a secret bloodthirster?
Here we are. I presume this is it.
That's the one.
Oh, your service to your friend must have been of considerable value.
And he actually sent it to you as a gift, you're saying?
Yes, as a gift.
What the devil have you got there, Charles?
I thought it might interest you, Hubert. Careful. It's extremely sharp.
It's Mongolian, obviously, and of the greatest antiquity. What a beauty! You've aroused my worst passion, Charles.
And what does Dr. Tokarev think of it?
I suggest that to possess such a knife is not altogether enviable.
What do you mean?
You have doubtless heard of our Russian secret brotherhoods, often very strange, with ritualistic ceremonies and horrible mutilations.
Horrid.
This knife is sacred, the symbol of one of these societies, and very ancient. To make a present of it was not orthodox. Therefore, for a person outside of the Brotherhood to have the knife is not enviable.
Oh, gracious! It's 8 o'clock. Time we were dressing for dinner.
And can you tell me of anything else that happened that evening which might have any bearing on the case?
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
Right. So let's move on to yesterday, the day of the murder game.
Nothing very much at all happened in the morning. Everybody got up late.
I went for a walk with Sir Hubert and tried to draw him out on the subject of the Russian Brotherhoods. I thought it might make a piece for the Clarion.
Was this in any way related to the murder of the Russian in Soho the night before?
Yes. The paper rang me about it just after breakfast, and seeing that Sir Hubert is an expert on all things Russian, I thought I'd give it a try. But he was rather cagey about it all. He suggested that I talk to Tokarev.
And did you?
No, I didn't. There's something rather formidable about Tokarev.
So when did the murder game actually begin?
At 5:30. Uncle Hubert made rather a big thing of it, but then he always does. We all assembled in the hall.
And what stunning little number have you been saving up for tonight, Marjorie? I'm sure you're going to astonish us with yet another new dress for the murder game.
Well, as it happens, Rosamond...
Now, may I have your attention, please? In 5 minutes, the game will be on. Now, you all know the rules by now. Last night, one of you was secretly given the scarlet plaque, so that person is to be the murderer. In a moment, I shall strike the gong as the signal for the game to commence.
So what is the murderer supposed to do exactly?
After he or she has chosen the victim, the murderer must make sure that they are both alone and unobserved. Then, as I have said, he taps the chap on the shoulder and says, "You're the corpse." And the victim falls to the ground on the spot.
And the killer hits the big gong and turns off the lights?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you must all say exactly where you are for 2 minutes to enable the murderer to clear the scene.
In the dark? I don't think I care for that idea.
But if there aren't any lights on, how the devil are we going to know when the 2 minutes are up?
You count second by second, Arthur.
And then we all venture out and feel our way about.
Yes, I'm sure you have no trouble in finding a light switch. Now, any more questions?
I don't think I'm going to enjoy this game. It all sounds much too terrifying.
I am, as you say, already on the tender hooks.
Right, then let us begin. The gong shall not sound again until the murder has been accomplished.
And after that, things got rather out of hand.
How do you mean?
We all moved in here and there was a bit of a rag.
Yippee!
It all began with Marjorie hurling a cushion at Dr. Tokarev.
Is not this an example of a British scrap? Is it not so that when an English lady projects a cushion at the head of a gentleman, it connotates sporting desire?
And then Rankin decided we were going to debag Arthur Wilde.
Come on, Nigel! Come on, Hubert! Oh, hey, get him off!
Get him off!
Charles always tended to overdo things when he joined in a rag.
I don't think Arthur found it at all funny.
You smashed my spectacles.
Oh, darling, you look too stupid to be believed.
Gosh, what a lovely sight. Last time I debagged Arthur was at Eton. Yeah. What a ages ago it all seemed. Music! Music! Come on, Rosamond, let's dance.
I'm too hot.
Oh, then it'll have to be Marjorie. Come on, Marjorie. I bet you tango quite sensationally. Oh.
I don't know if I ought to tell you about what happened after that. It seems disloyal to Uncle Hubert.
Somebody else will tell me if you don't.
I suppose that's true. Well, obviously, Uncle Hubert had been brooding about that dagger that Rankin had been given, and was beginning to get rather obsessional about it.
Why don't you sell it to me, Charles? I'll give you much more for it than you deserve.
No, I can't do that, Hubert. It wouldn't be right. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll bequeath it to you. Nigel here gets most of my possessions, so remember, my lad, when I kick the bucket, Hubert is to have the dagger.
Well, for tonight, I'm going to hang it in a place of honour at the foot of the staircase.
Now then, let's have a cocktail. There's murder to be done.
It all sounds quite excessively macabre. Can you give me an idea of where everyone was at the time immediately before the murder was committed?
I'll do the best I can. Rosamond went up first, I think.
I'm going to take my drink up with me. No one will try to murder me in my bath, I hope. And I shan't come down again until I hear voices in the hall.
And Marjorie and I followed her almost at once,
And then Tokarev and Sir Hubert.
leaving you downstairs with Rankin and Wilde.
Shall I bathe first?
Yes, do, Nigel. It's safe enough for Charles and I to be left together. Whichever of us tried to do in the other would be accused by you as the last person to see the corpse alive. So I'll claim the bath in 10 minutes.
Arthur and I share a bathroom. It leads off to a dressing room on his side, with his wife's room beyond that.
And when did Mr. Wilde go up?
About 10 minutes after me. I'd finished my bath, and I heard him turning on the taps.
Charles is mixing himself yet another cocktail. No bloodshed yet, at any rate.
I shall be far too frightened to go down on my own.
Well, let's wait until Marjorie's ready and all go down together. If you don't agree, I shall know that you're the murderer.
In that case, I'll agree.
How are you getting on, Marjorie? You going to be long?
And then the housemaid came in with the shaving water. She was very flustered and launched off into some long rigmarole as to why she'd forgotten all about it. I told her that I'd managed perfectly well without it, and at that point, all the lights went out. For a moment, we both just stood there, rooted to the spot. And then the girl made her way out and along the corridor.
What the devil's going on? The murderer hasn't wasted much time.
Remember, we've got to wait for 2 minutes so that he can get clear. I've got a luminous wristwatch, so I'll tell you when.
Well, how the devil am I expected to find a towel?
I waited until the 2 minutes were up and decided to set off downstairs.
Turn on the lights as soon as you can, for heaven's sake. I'm going to miss all the fun if I can't find my trousers.
So I struck a match and started to make my way down the staircase. I found the light switch, and there was Charles, lying by the side of the gong.
We all thought it was part of the game. It wasn't until Dr. Tokarev took a look at Charles that we realised he was actually dead.
Right. Thank you both very much for providing such a clear account. Well, now I should like to talk to the other guests, but I'd better have a word with Sir Hubert first. Perhaps, Mr. Bathgate, you could find out if he feels up to seeing me.
I simply cannot take it in. I've known Charles Rankin all my life. We were all such good friends. It can't possibly have been one of my guests.
I understand that Sergeant Bunce has already been questioning the servants.
But most of them have been here for years. It must have been someone from outside.
To your knowledge, Sir Hubert, did Mr. Rankin have any enemies? Anyone with a reason for wanting to get rid of him?
I can think of none, but obviously there must have been.
Nobody who would benefit from his death?
Only young Bathgate. He inherits the bulk of Charles's fortune, I think, and Arthur Wilde would come into a small bit of money. But I cannot believe that either of them...
Quite so, Sir Hubert. And now I'd better have a word with your guests. I understand they're in the library.
Yes. Part that is from Mrs. Wilde. She's still in her room, I think. She seems to have taken poor Charles's death rather badly.
I'm sorry to hear that. Was she...
She has a somewhat nervous disposition. She is really terribly upset.
I see. But even so, I should like her to be present with the others.
I'll ask Angela to have a word with her. Shall we meet up in the library?
To say, a man was done to death in this house at 5 minutes to 8 last night. Now, it's possible, but only just possible, that the crime was brought off by someone from outside. However, until the inquest is over, I'm afraid that none of you will be allowed to leave Frantic.
And do you have any idea when the inquest will be?
It will probably be held on Thursday.
Is that absolutely necessary, Inspector? This would mean that my guests would have to stay cooped up here for 3 more days. I know that some of them, the ladies in particular, are naturally longing to get away from this unhappy atmosphere.
Sir Hubert, I understand the difficulty of your situation, but I'm afraid that all personal considerations must go to blazes.
I entirely agree. It is inconvenient, but inconvenience hardly counts at such a time. And my wife, too, I'm sure, will understand that.
I'm very sorry to have kept you all waiting. Oh, no, please, don't anyone move.
There's a chair here, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Now, I think I understand the principles of the game which ended so tragically. I do not think, though, that I'm clear as to what would have happened if a sham victim had been found lying at the foot of the stairs instead of a real one.
But excuse me, this is how you say an irrelevancy.
It is quite in order, Dr. Tokarev. Otherwise, I should not ask.
Well, the answer to your question, Inspector, is that we should have held a mock trial with a prosecuting attorney.
So that we could find out who had been given the scarlet plaque.
Or, in other words, which was the murderer.
Well, then I think the game should be played out. I shall take upon myself the role of the prosecuting attorney. I trust, however, there will be no difficulty in establishing the identity of who was the recipient of the scarlet plaque.
No difficulty at all, Inspector. It was given to me.
What? Thank you, Mr. Wilde. Tell me, had you formed any definite plan about how you were going to carry out your role in the game?
No, not precisely. I was thinking of it as I lay in the bath, When I heard the gong and the lights went out, I was just going to shout to Nigel that it couldn't be the murder when I realised that I should be giving my own show away before I brought it off. I thought it would be easy enough to find a suitable victim while the lights were still out.
Mr. Wilde, in the words of the popular coloured engraving, when did you last see Mr. Rankin?
I was talking to him alone in the hall before I went up to bathe and dress.
And he was still there when you went?
Yes, he said there was just time for another drink.
Did anyone see you together?
Yes, Mary, the little between-maid, came in and went to lock the front door. I asked her the time, and she said it was 10 minutes to 8. So I ran straight up the stairs saying, "Good Lord, we'll be late," or something of the sort.
So that presumably Mr. Rankin was left alone in the hall from a little after 7:50 until 5 minutes to 8 when he was killed. That's about 4 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Wilde. So we've established that from 7:30 onwards, and during the time of the actual murder itself, you and Mrs. Wilde and Mr. Bathgate were all calling out to one another.
Yes, we were, though I couldn't actually hear Mr. Bathgate from where I was in the bedroom.
Perhaps we might now turn to you, Dr. Tokarev.
Thank you.
You went upstairs with the first contingent, I believe.
Please?
With Miss North and Miss Grant and Sir Hubert. Did you go straight to your room?
Yes, immediately. This I can prove, for I am in a good mood when I am in my room last night, for I sing all the time fortissimo.
And what were you singing?
I sing Mussorgsky, The Death of Boris. Many would have heard.
Yes, I heard.
I certainly did.
I am still singing when the gong sounds and all the lights go out. I count 60 twice in Russian, then I come out.
I understand that you were the first to realize what had happened, that Mr. Rankin was actually dead.
Yes, I was the first.
And was it you who moved the body, Doctor?
No. I said it must not be touched.
Wait a minute, let me explain.
Never mind now, old girl.
No, Arthur, I must tell the inspector what happened. I lost my head, you see. I pushed them all aside and knelt down by Charles. I pulled him over and looked at his face and tried to call him back. I dragged his shoulders away from the blood and I felt the knife gritting on the floor underneath him. I only moved him a little.
I'm very grateful to you, Mrs. Wilde, for telling us exactly how it happened.
So now that we have established my alibi, I should like now to go to London. I have a most urgent meeting.
Well, I'm afraid that's impossible, Dr. Tokarev.
But it is most important.
Everyone must remain here. Sir Hubert?
Here?
What were your movements from the time you went upstairs?
I went to my dressing room at the end of the corridor, bathed and dressed for dinner. Angela came in. She wanted an aspirin for Miss Grant, who had a headache. I found some, and almost immediately after Angela left, the gong sounded.
And where is your room, Miss Grant?
At the far end of the cross corridor at the back of the house, next to Angela's. Angela came into my room after we'd bathed.
Where is the bathroom exactly?
Opposite my room. We both used it. I first.
Did you go anywhere else while you were upstairs?
No. I came down after the alarm.
You're sure of that?
Why shouldn't I be?
Well, because, according to a statement given by the maid, Florence, to Sergeant Bunce, you were not in your room.
I told you. I was in the bathroom.
Well, this was while Miss North was occupying it. Florence said she saw you coming down the passage.
She saw me.
Rosamond!
Get some brandy. The poor woman's fainted.
Looks a bit fishy, don't you think, sir? All the same, I don't quite see the young lady as our man, so to speak.
Well, then what was she doing when she was out of her room? And why tell a lie about it?
I'd be much more inclined to go for the Russian bloke.
He'd have to be pretty nimble on his pins. His room's a long way down that corridor, and everybody heard him singing. I think it's time we took a closer look at the scene of the crime. Come with me, will you, Bunce?
The last the maid saw of Mr. Rankin, he was mixing himself a cocktail. At that table, right at the foot of the stairs.
Which is probably where he was standing when he was struck down. How tall are you, Bunce?
5'11" in my socks, sir.
That's good enough. Rankin was just on 6 foot. Stand roughly where he was standing, will you?
About here, sir.
Yes, that'll do. The knife was in that leather holster affair hanging on the wall by the stairs, and therefore the murderer stood about here, took the dagger in his right hand, but I can't get the angle right. You see, either the banister gets in between, or if I stand on the bottom step, well, I'm too far away. See if you can get any fingerprints from the bottom knob of the banister, will you? I'm going to root around in the fireplace.
There's something very curious. But I could see it with my naked eye. A left-hand impression. Looks as if it's pointing downwards. Well, quite a funny place to get your hand. Any luck in the grate, sir?
Yes, there's some traces in the tray. It looks as though someone's been burning a piece of leather. And here's a dense press button. From a glove, by the look of it. Bunce, when you finish there, take a look around the guests' rooms. See if you can find a single glove. Yellow dogskin.
A single yellow glove? In this great warren of a place? Well, quite a tall order, but I'll give it a go. I'm not promising anything, mind.
Mr. Bathgate, just the man. Can you tell me which room is Dr. Tokarev's?
I think it's down here, along the back corridor. Yes, judging from my recollections of his vocal efforts last night, I should say this was it.
Yes, I think you're right. Thank you, Mr. Bathgate.
Oh, all right.
Very tidy fellow, by the look of things. A couple of novels, Webster's Dictionary. This must be his writing case. Locked. That shouldn't prove too much of a problem. Thought not. Documents, mostly in Russian. Photographs, all of the good doctor himself. And a seal with the engraved sign of a long-bladed dagger. Very like the one used to kill Rankin.
It's only me, sir.
Oh.
Mr. Bathgate told me I'd find you in here. I've had a bit of luck.
Oh, a left-handed yellow dogskin glove. A woman's by the look of it. And the button matches the one I found in the grate.
It took a bit of finding, sir. It had fallen down the back of the tall boy underneath the bottom drawer.
And in whose room did you find it?
Mrs. Wilde's.
Mrs. Wilde's? But if what Bathgate says is right, she was in her room the whole time he was talking to her husband. Oh, blast.
Well, anyone could have nipped in and swiped it earlier.
That's true. Thank you, Bunce. A most valuable bit of hunting.
Fresh air at last. I feel as if I'd been cooped up in the house for weeks.
Yes, it does rather tend to breed morbid thoughts.
Nigel, let's make a pact. We must be honest with one another about the murder. It'll help such a lot. Or am I being a nuisance?
Oh, I agree. I'm glad you suggested it. And how could you possibly be a nuisance?
Well then, that's all right. I don't think you killed Charles. Do you think I did?
No.
Who do you think did do it?
I've really no idea. I'd like to think it was Tokarev, but...
Why Tokarev?
Well, he looks like a villain for a start, and I'd rather it wasn't one of your uncle's friends. Who do you think did it? Don't answer if you'd rather not.
Oh, but it's part of the pact. I rather think that it might be...
Mr. Bathgate, there's a telephone call from London. It's your paper.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilde. I'm just coming. Well?
I think I'd better keep it to myself just for the moment. I might be very wrong.
I've been having a word with a fingerprint expert. He's been picking up everyone's prints, very unobtrusively, you understand, teacups and so on. Anyway, that left-hand print on the stair knob is Mr. Wilde's.
And like his wife, he has a perfect alibi for the time of the murder.
But there's something else that's come up, sir.
What's that?
The deceased's dinner jacket, sir.
What about it?
Well, there's a good deal of liquid powder down the face of it. I understand that Mr. Rankin was rather keen on the ladies.
Any idea which particular lady?
We've had a bit of a go round the dressing tables of Mrs. Wilde, Miss Grant and Miss North. Mrs. Wilde seems to travel with an entire beauty parlour in tow, and Miss Grant's not too far behind her.
So, which of them was it?
Well, a combination of Mrs. Wilde's milk of gardenia and Miss Grant's, Chanel No. 5.
Well, evidently Mr. Rankin got about a bit.
Yes, sir. And I understand from the under-gardener that his youngest, Sissy, I think her name is, said she'd seen a man and a woman in the coppice on the day of the murder.
Any idea which particular man and woman?
No, sir, but the woman was getting rather worked up. And she was wearing a lovely red cap.
I think it's high time we found out whether the fair Rosamond has recovered from her attack of the vapours.
So, do I head the list of your suspects, Inspector?
I think you were ill-advised to mislead me this morning. Far better to tell me where you went after your bath last night. I cannot force you to answer, but I earnestly advise you to do so. Very well. Tell me whom you went walking with in the woods, wearing your red cap.
I can't tell you. I can't.
As you please. Perhaps, before I go, you will let me have a few details about yourself. How long had you known Mr. Rankin?
6 years.
Quite a long friendship.
I met him at Cambridge. I was a student at Newnham, and Charles seemed to know everybody. He was nearly 20 years older than I.
At Newnham? You must have been up with a cousin of mine, Christina Allen. She's a fully fledged chemist now, and lives in an ultra-modern flat in Knightsbridge.
Yes, I remember her, I think.
Well, I won't trouble you any further today, Miss Grant. But be advised by me, think it over. I shall come back to see you tomorrow. Make up your mind to tell me where you went immediately before Mr. Rankin was murdered.
I'll bear it in mind, Inspector.
Hello? Could I speak to Christina Allen, please? What? Oh, Christina, I didn't recognize you. You sounded so grand. Look, you can help me if you will. Drag your mind away from shattered atoms and bicarbonate of soda, cast it back 6 years, and tell me everything you can remember about a girl called Rosamond Grant, who was up at Newnham with you. Yes. Yes. She what? Oh, I think I'd like to know rather more about that.
Rosamond? I thought you were supposed to be confined to your room.
I couldn't stand being cooped up in there any longer. I shall be joining your jolly party downstairs in time for a juicy chat about your cousin's murder.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Have I dropped a brick? Do you mean you don't even discuss it? Angela and I do. At least Angela talks and I listen. And she's a peculiar person, Angela. What are you thinking about? Are you wondering if I killed Charles?
We all wonder about each other all day and half the night.
I don't.
Well, you're the more fortunate.
I only wonder what that man Allen is doing. What he's building up out of this great mass of detail. What ugly conclusions he is coming to. Oh, God. Oh, God, I wish Charles wasn't dead. A week ago, no, 3 days ago, I thought to myself, quite seriously, you know, that I should be glad if I knew that I was going to die. Now I am terrified.
What do you mean? No, don't tell me without being sure you won't wish that you hadn't.
I'll tell you this much. It is not that detective I'm afraid of.
Then why don't you go to him and make a clean breast of whatever it is?
I have no intention of betraying myself.
I don't understand you. Why can't you tell Alan what you did when you went upstairs? Nothing can be more dangerous than your silence.
Supposing I said I went in search of Charles. Someone's coming.
It's Marjorie.
I didn't realize you'd been let out, Rosamond. Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you. We've been having a cosy little chat about the murder. Who do you think did it?
I don't understand you. How can you talk about it like this?
You're acting the part of a woman who's been deeply shocked, Marjorie. You're feeling it too, I expect, but not in the way you want to convey to us.
How like you to talk silly, clever stuff that makes you feel superior. I'm sick of cleverness.
I'm off. The doctor's coming at 4:30 to get on with his cure for the after effects of murder. The mixture as before.
Have you seen Arthur anywhere?
He was in the library when I last saw him.
I do think men are extraordinary. Arthur doesn't seem to realize how I feel about it all. He leaves me by myself for hours at a time while he and Hubert talk about Russian politics. I should have thought he would... Oh, but here he is. Are you coming back into the house?
No, I'm going for a walk in the woods.
Well, I shall leave you then. Arthur! Arthur!
Smell of burning. Somebody must be having a bonfire. Oh, there goes Dr. Tokarev. Devil is he up to? I wonder if that fire's something to do with him. He's been burning papers of some sort. If I could grab some of them before the fire gets them. Ouch! Damn blast! Right, what the devil have we got here?
They won't mean much to you.
Hell's boots!
Oh, they're in Russian. I've seen these papers before. They were in his room. And if they're important enough for him to burn them, they're important enough for the Russian expert at the Yard. Thank you for singeing your fingers, Bathgate. Let's go and make ourselves comfortable on that log. I want to talk to you. Every member of this household is concealing something from me. You are yourself, you know.
How do you mean?
I was watching you with Miss Grant and Mrs. Wilde. There's something that hasn't come out yet, and I fancy I know what it is.
Oh, Lord. Alan, it's all so beastly. And it doesn't amount to a row of beans.
Let me be the judge of that. How far had the affair between Charles Rankin and Mrs. Wilde gone?
I don't know. I mean, how did you find that out?
He held her in his arms on Saturday night. Now, if it was in his room...
It wasn't.
Oh, then where was it? Oh, come on. I've got under your guard.
Oh, hell. I'll come clean. It was on the night before the murder. I'd come down early and was taking a look at Hubert's guns there in the little room across the hall. And I heard voices in the drawing room beyond.
You've no right to order me about like this. You treat me as if I were completely at your beck and call.
But don't you rather enjoy that, Marjorie?
Oh, why are you such a beast to me, Charles? You might at least...
Might at least what?
What is the position between you and Rosamond?
Rosamond is cryptic. She tells me she is too fond of me to marry me.
And yet all the time you... Oh, I'm such a fool.
Yes, you are rather a little goat, aren't you? Come here.
Oh. Do you love me?
No, not really. Not quite, my dear. But you're very attractive. Won't that do?
Do you love Rosamond?
Oh, for goodness sake, Marjorie.
I could hate you. You're vile.
And then the gong sounded for dinner. Charles and Marjorie left very hastily, and at that moment I heard someone coming out of the little alcove next to the gun room. I realized that whoever it was must have been hiding there and listening to every word of that conversation.
Have you any idea whom it might have been?
I rather felt that it was a woman. At least, they sounded like a woman's footsteps.
Thank you, Mr. Bathgate. How would you care to be a part-time amateur sleuth?
Oh, I'd love to. But why me?
Because you're the only person who has an absolutely cast-iron alibi.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Well, I want you to help me out. I need to have a good look round Marjorie Wilde's room. I'd like you to keep KV, as we used to say at school. Stay in your room and keep your ears and eyes open. I'm reckoning that everybody will be in the drawing room at this time of day, but if you hear anyone coming, you can nip through the bathroom you share with Wilde and tip me the wink.
What are you hoping to find?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Souvenirs, letters, keepsakes, that kind of thing.
It all sounds a bit sneaky.
I'm afraid that is what sleuthing is all about, being sneaky. Come on.
Alan's certainly taking his time. He's been in there for ages. Marjorie can't have that many secrets to hide. Oh, somebody's coming down the corridor. Alan! Alan!
What the devil? Oh, I'm so sorry, Arthur. I thought you were Alan.
So I gathered, Bathgate. Now, will you kindly tell me, did you think Alan was here? Or in my wife's room?
Well, you see,
In your wife's room, as it happens. Mr. Wilde, I've been investigating all the rooms. It's part of the procedure.
Why must you torture us all like this? My wife has nothing to conceal. How could she have possibly killed Rankin? Everyone knows that she couldn't even look at a knife. It's impossible.
Mr. Wilde, that is all I am trying to prove, that it is impossible. Now, tea is waiting for us all downstairs. Could I have a quiet word with you, Bathgate?
Stop. It's no good. I'll confess. I can't bear the strain any longer. I killed Rankin.
When did you do it, Mr. Wilde?
Before I came upstairs, when I was alone with him.
You're telling me that when you were cheerfully talking to Mr. Bathgate from the bathroom, you were also downstairs in the hall, where under the nose of a housemaid who didn't happen to notice, you plunged a dagger into Mr. Rankin?
Well, the girl had gone. I didn't mean to do it. It was all part of the game, you see.
I don't believe a word of it, Mr. Wilde. And as for games, you're playing an extremely dangerous one. I shall be in the study if you can spare me a moment, Bathgate.
Look here, Arthur. We're all letting our nerves get the better of us. I'm certain that no one really suspects your wife. Alan must know that she couldn't have done it. You told a brave lie, and I admire you for it, but it was a very silly one. Pull yourself together and forget all about it.
I plucked up my courage and asked Miss Angela if we three might have tea together in here. She's just bringing it.
What an extraordinary business that was just now.
Yes, it was.
Of course his wife is innocent. I mean, look at her alibi.
I'm looking at it. A lovely alibi, isn't it?
Here we are. How'd you like your tea, Inspector?
No milk, thank you. Tell me, has Miss Grant told you where she was while you were having your bath on Sunday evening?
She hasn't told me, but I think I know where she went.
Well?
To Charles Rankin's room, only to find that he wasn't there.
What makes you think she went there?
The morning after the murder, Uncle Hubert told me you wanted Charles's room locked up, so I did it myself. Rosamond has a pair of bath slippers with green fluffy stuff above the instep. There was a wisp of it on the carpet in his room.
You really are quite superb. What was the relationship between Rankin and Miss Grant?
I can't discuss anything of that sort.
Very well. Let me tell you what I think. Rankin wanted her to marry him. She refused because of his relationship with another woman, am I right?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Mr. Bathgate overheard a rather passionate encounter between Rankin and Mrs. Wilde on the night before the murder, and he was under the impression that somebody else heard it too. I am firmly of the opinion that person was Rosamond Grant.
But surely you're not suggesting...
I'm suggesting nothing at this stage, but Miss Grant is possessed of an extremely violent temper. When she was at Cambridge, some girl or other ragged her about her friendship with Rankin, and Miss Grant went for her with a knife. It was quite a scandal, and she was very lucky not to have been sent down.
Well, even so, I'm certain she didn't kill Charles. I don't see how she could have managed it.
Now, there's another aspect of the case I want to discuss with you both. Can either of you remember anything at all, that Rankin said about the man who gave him the knife?
He told us that it had been sent to him by some Russian he'd pulled out of a crevasse. But I can't remember anything he said about the man himself.
Yes, there was one thing. He said that the Russian lost 2 of his fingers through frostbite.
The devil he did. Let me tell you that on the night before the murder, a Russian was killed in Soho, and he had 2 fingers of his left hand missing.
So that means...
There's a definite link between that dagger and some secret Russian society.
And Tokarev has a seal ring with the figure of that dagger on it. And he's standing outside the French window now, listening to every word we say. Quick, Bathgate, after him!
It's all right, Inspector. I've got him.
Will you please get this fat policeman off my stomach? I am innocent.
So what's that under your coat, Doctor?
Good Lord, it's the dagger, the one that killed Rankin.
What the devil's going on? What are you doing to Tokarev?
They have put me under arrest. I swear that I am innocent of the murder.
Dr. Tokarev, I am charging you with...
I am innocent, I tell you. I did not kill him.
I am charging you with conspiracy and sedition, of membership of an illegal society, and being an accomplice in the murder of Svatoslav Krasinski.
Krasinski? Who the devil's he?
He's the man who gave Rankin the dagger, the symbol of the Brotherhood of the Black Eagle, which Tokarev was attempting to carry off with him. Now take him down to the station, Sergeant.
Sir, come along.
But does this mean that it was Tokarev who killed Charles?
Nothing so convenient, I'm afraid. Krasinski was pretty certainly murdered by the Brotherhood for giving away the dagger to Rankin, and Tokarev was obviously determined to get it back, but that's as far as it goes. Unless he's a skilled ventriloquist and can throw his voice upstairs and all the way along the back corridor, he's out of it.
So where do we go from here?
Well, back to the body at the foot of the stairs. Tell me, Miss Angela, do you ever slide down that extremely tempting banister?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. We have competitions sometimes at Uncle Hubert's weekend parties. Face first without hanging on.
Competitions?
Yes, I'm quite good at it. So was Charles. Marjorie can't do it at all. Rosamond won't even try. And poor Dr. Tokarev was hopeless when he had to go at it.
Why do you want to know? It can't have anything to do with the murder, surely.
Well, on the contrary, I think it may have everything to do with it. But I shall do my best to keep my lively imagination in check until after the inquest tomorrow. Not that I expect anything very...
Murder by person or persons unknown and adjourned for a month. Hardly very surprising. At least all my guests will be free to go home now. Bathgate, I can't tell you how deeply I regret the tragic circumstances of your first visit to Frantok.
Oh, please, sir. You were one of Charles's oldest friends. I'm sure you must have felt his death more than most of us.
That's right. I was extremely fond of him.
I believe he has left you a number of pictures and books, but since the greater part of his possessions come to me, I do hope that you will let me know if there is anything you would like to have as a particular reminder of it.
That's very thoughtful of you. Well, I'm sure there's nothing that except perhaps the dagger. As you remember, he assigned it to me.
You want the dagger?
It may seem strange to you, but you're not a passionately committed collector. And it seemed to me that I should have it in memory of Charles. Yes, well, I was going to attend to my guests. Rosamond is still terribly upset, I believe.
Yes, of course. And I must go and pack.
Ah, Bathgate. I was looking for you. Let's find somewhere we can talk undisturbed.
Why? What's up? Are you going to tell me you've discovered the murderer?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am.
Did you really mean that?
Yes, it's true. I believe I know, but I want to go over the mechanics of the crime with you first.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
But the position of the body led me to assume that Rankin had been stabbed from behind and from above. But there seemed no place where the assailant could have stood to achieve this. But then I found a clue. On the knob at the bottom of the banister were the faint but unmistakable impressions left by two hands that had gripped it from above. The left-hand print was moderately clear, but the right had evidently been made by a hand wearing a leather glove. It called up a picture of someone standing with his back to the stairs, leaning across the curved end of the banister at a very unlikely angle. A highly improbable attitude, unless...
The person was sitting astride the banister, so that was why you asked Angela about sliding down.
And she seems to have ruled out two of my suspects, Marjorie Wilde and Dr. Tokarev.
Then who?
Well, I then turned my attention to the underborder of the bottom of the banister, the wooden base into which the uprights are set, and there was a single print there. Evidently, the maids don't trouble to poke their dusters through the rails.
But how could anyone manage to get their hand through the rails, and why should they?
It was not the print of a hand, but of a naked foot. And with that discovery, a vivid little scene began to take shape. Now, picture it, Bathgate. The hall is dimly lit. Rankin is bending over the cocktail tray, pouring himself a drink from the shaker. The stairs are practically in darkness. At the top of them appears a dim figure wearing a dressing gown, or perhaps only clad in underclothes. There's a glove on the murderer's right hand. The figure slides silently down the banister, reaches across to where the dagger hangs in its holster, and stabs Rankin, who pitches forward, striking the gong with his head.
So that is why the gong sounded.
And the figure on the banister reaches out and switches off the light. Total darkness. Well?
What do you mean, well? Am I supposed to know who it is?
I'm certainly not going to tell you, and I have to admit there's only one real bit of evidence in the whole case, the button of the glove worn by the murderer. So I've decided to make an extraordinary experiment. I'm going to ask all the suspect persons to look on while we go through a reconstruction of the murder as I think it happened.
And who's going to play the murderer?
Well, that's of no importance at this stage. It'll be a purely arbitrary choice. I've asked Miss Angela to round up all the guests just before they leave, for a cocktail in the hall. They should be getting together any moment now.
I've posted constables at the front door and in the dining room, and there'll be another at the top of the stairs when he's needed.
Good work, Buns. And I shall need you to impersonate the victim again.
Very good, sir. Head first into the gong, I presume.
That's the way. Now, off you go.
Sir.
The buzzer is ringing, the house lights are down, the curtain's going up. Take your seats, ladies and gentlemen, for the last act. May I have your attention for a moment? I realise that you have all found it inconvenient and extremely distressing to have been cooped up here for the last 4 days. Before you go, however, I've decided to let you all understand the theory of the police as to the manner in which this crime was committed. The simplest way to make myself clearly understood is to reconstruct the machinery of the murder. And to do so, I shall require two persons to play the parts of the victim and the murderer. Is there anyone who would care to volunteer?
No.
Now, steady on, darling. It's all right. It'll be better for us all to hear what Inspector Allen has to tell us.
Yeah, I agree, Arthur. If I can be of any help at all, I'm perfectly willing.
Thank you very much indeed, Sir Hubert, but I won't ask you to perform the peculiar feat that I believe to be necessary. I want someone to slide down the banisters face foremost.
Why?
I don't think I can manage that.
It's no good looking at me. That's not my style at all.
Well, I could do it.
I think I'd rather it was a man, someone with a bit more weight. What about you, Mr. Wilde?
Well, I'm getting a bit stiff in the joints for that sort of thing, but I'll have a go if you really want me to.
Oh, thank you. I shall ask Sergeant Bunce to impersonate Mr. Rankin. Are you there, Bunce?
All present and correct, Mr. Allen.
Right. Now, if you'll take up your position at the foot of the stairs, pouring yourself a drink from the cocktail shaker. Good. Now, Mr. Wilde, it's my theory that the murderer slid down the banister rail, took the dagger from the leather strap on the wall there with his right hand, leant over and drove it home. Do you think you could do that for me?
Well, it all sounds too fantastic for words, but I'll do my best.
So, if you'd care to go to the top of the stairs and position yourself on the banister.
Right you are, Inspector.
Could you turn the lights out, Bathgate?
Right, her.
I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
Right, Mr. Wilde, down you come.
It's horrible, horrible.
Faster, faster. Excellent. Now grab the dagger.
I can't reach it.
Well, I'm sure you can. Reach out for it with your right hand. That's the way. I knew you could do it. Now, strike. There, you see. That's how it was done. Lights, please, Mr. Bathgate. Well done, Mr. Wilde. Only you forgot something. The yellow glove. You burned one, but here's the companion to it.
God rot your bloody soul.
Take him away, Bunce.
I still don't see how it could possibly have been Arthur Wilde. I was talking to him all the time he was having his bath.
Yes, I know you thought that. His wretched wife thought so too. It confused all my thinking for a long time. You had this mental picture of Wilde lying there in his tub and washing behind his ears. You heard all the suitable noises. Running taps, splashy, soapy noises and so on. If you could have seen...
Seen what?
Seen Wilde come into the bathroom in his underpants, clutching the glove he'd taken from the tall boy in his wife's room a little while earlier. He turned on the tap, splashed about with his hands, pretended to be washing while he spoke to you. And then, probably calling out to you first, he slipped out through the door of his dressing room just as the maid entered your room.
You mean that was when he killed Rankin?
Exactly. 8 seconds later, the gong sounded and all the lights went out. Wilde darted back, tore off his clothes and got into the bath. And while he was lying there, chatting to you, I imagine he gave himself a thorough scrub in case Rankin's blood had spattered his body.
But why did he do it?
Well, primarily for the money. He knew that Rankin was leaving him £3,000. I've been making a few inquiries, and he seems to have been in a bit of a fix generally. Marjorie Wilde owes over 1,000 to various dressmakers, and he'd lost heavily on his last book. But I don't think money was the only reason.
You mean it was because of the way that Rankin was carrying on with his wife?
Yes, it was all pretty shameless, and Rankin didn't go out of his way to conceal it. And that stupid Marjorie Wilde was very careless. While you were keeping KV, I found letters from Rankin to her that didn't leave much doubt about their relationship, with Wilde's fingerprints all over them. But I think it was Rosamond who finally convinced him that his wife was having a full-blown affair.
How did you find that out?
The day after she'd overheard that conversation between them, the one you told me about, she went for a walk with Wilde. The gardener's child said that she appeared very upset. I'm certain that she was telling him about his wife's infidelity. And almost as soon as she'd done it, she regretted it. And that's why she went to look for Rankin in his room while Angela was having her bath. She waited for him to come back, but he stayed downstairs, pouring himself a last drink, before he got a dagger in his back.
Will they get a conviction, do you think?
That's hard to say. Remember, he's already confessed once.
I suppose he thought he was being extraordinarily clever, pulling the wool over our eyes like that. God, what a ghastly business.
Yes, it's hardly a suitable introduction to the delights of Frantic. I take it you'll be going back there from time to time?
Well, I rather think I will, yes.
Well, I'm glad that something has come out of all this horror. May I give one word of advice to you both?
What's that?
Don't join in any more games of murder. It's best left to the experts.
A Surfeit of Lampreys by Ngaio Marsh. First broadcast on BBC Radio 4 in 2002. Dramatised by Michael Bakewell and produced and directed by Enid Williams.
Gabriel, you know how I hate asking you for money.
You've done it often enough, and I'd have thought that begging for it was closer to the mark. Why can't you earn a decent wage? Why don't you send those idle children of yours off to work?
But they've tried
to. It's preposterous the way you all live. Butlers and cars and doing the season when you haven't a penny between you.
We may have dribbled money away, Gabriel, I grant you that, but we've gained something with it. Imogen and the children have gaiety and warmth of heart and loving kindness and charm.
Charm? Any low-down blackmailer has charm. And where's this loving kindness you talk about when it comes to letting down your creditors?
If it hadn't been for that, nothing would have induced me to ask for your help.
And you're not going to get it. You can drag yourself and your fool of a wife and your precious brood through the bankruptcy court. And if it wasn't for the entail, I'd see to it that you didn't get a penny of the lamprey money when I die. As it is, I shall do my best to cut you out of as much of it as I can.
Oh, my God, Gabriel. I wish there was some way I could cut you out for good.
Oh, I've had as much as I'm going to take from you. Violet! Violet! We're leaving at once!
We present Jeremy Clyde as Chief Detective Inspector Alleyn in A Surfeit of Lampreys by Ngaio Marsh.
What's happened?
It's Lady Violet.
The lift's coming back up. What the devil's going on?
Gabriel! Oh, my God, the poor fellow. Robin, for God's sake, get the children away. Henry, ring for a doctor as quick as you can, and I think you'd better contact the police.
Oh, Bathgate, my dear chap. Look, I don't have a second. Something rather urgent's come up.
I know, that's why I'm here.
What do you mean by that?
The murder of the Marquis of Wetherwood.
Well, he was still living, the last I heard of it. How on earth did you get the news?
Frid telephoned me.
Frid?
Frida Lamprey. She thought it might be a bit of a scoop for me, and that if I were there, it might keep the other news hounds at bay. You will let me come along, won't you?
This Frid is the daughter of Lord Charles Lamprey, I take it?
Yes, she's quite a character.
And Lord Wetherwood is Lord Charles's elder brother? And he and his wife were on a visit to the Lampreys when he met with his accident?
Yes, that's right.
The Lampreys are old friends of yours, I imagine?
I've known them all my life. They're as mad as mayflies and utterly enchanting. And they have such charm. The Lamprey charm is a byword.
I shall brace myself for it.
They don't live in the real world at all. It's all dressing up and mad parties and family jokes. According to Frid, they even tried to entertain Lord Wetherwood with one of their charades this afternoon.
It might jolly your Uncle Gabriel up a bit. Put him in a more receptive frame of mind.
How about Lady Godiva? You could be the palfrey, Henry, Daddy the horrible husband, and one of the twins could play Peeping Tom.
If you think I'm going to curvet around the room with you sitting on my back in the nude... Your hair's not long enough, dear. Uncle Gabriel would be horrified.
So what did they come up with?
The story of Jael, I believe.
Jael? But the girl in the Bible?
Who was Jael, anyway?
She hammered a nail through Sisera's head. Vengeance is mine!
But Lord Wetherwood was injured by a skewer being driven into his eye, wasn't he?
Yes, it was the same skewer, the one they used in the charade.
How excessively macabre.
Will he live, do you think, Charles?
It doesn't seem possible.
And if he dies?
It seems that if Gabriel dies, he would have been murdered.
What will happen, do you think?
Well, the police will be here soon. We must leave it to them.
So, what do we tell them? Well, none of us tried to kill him, so I suppose we simply tell the truth, don't we?
Of course, we tell them the truth.
I think you'd better give me a synopsis of the Lampreys, Bathgate. We have, I take it, Lord Charles and his wife.
Lady Imogen, but everyone calls her Charlotte.
And the children?
There are 5 of them. There's Henry, he's the eldest. He's always on the verge of taking a job, but somehow he never manages to get round to it. And then there's Frida.
Commonly known as Frid.
Yes. She's training to be an actress, and she's just a touch histrionic. And then there are the twins, Colin and Stephen. They're absolutely identical. It's really difficult knowing which is which. And then there's young Michael. His great passion is Hornby trains.
And what about Gabriel's wife, Lady Wotherwood? She's still in the Lampreys' flat, I take it.
Yes. I gather she's lying down somewhere or other being looked after by her faithful maid. Her ladyship's a distinctly odd bird, to put it mildly. Hungarian, I think, with some frightfully unpronounceable name. Her husband gave up trying to get his tongue round it and decided she should be called Violet. They have the most almighty rows and are always on the verge of breaking up, but somehow they stagger on. She's got particularly odd of late. Taken up witchcraft and black magic and all that sort of thing.
It all sounds like the most frightful nightmare. Skewers and charades and broomsticks. And poor old Fox will be in the thick of it by now, trying to take down Lord Wotherwood's last words. Always supposing there are any.
Is he going, do you think?
It looks like it, sir. Do you want to tell us how you were hurt, sir? Perhaps he might respond better to you, my lord.
Gabriel, do you know me?
Will you ask him who attacked him, my lord?
Oh, it seems so horrible now. When
But he might manage to answer you.
Gabriel, do you know who did this to you? He's gone.
Yeah. So now, it's murder.
We must be nearly there. Cadogan Gardens, isn't it?
Yes. Plaisance Court Mansions. Their flat occupies the whole of the top floor.
My darlings, just one word before Mr. Alleyn gets here. I think we would be well advised not to reveal the reason for Gabriel's visit. It would hardly present us in a very favourable light.
Nigel, thank goodness you've come.
We thought that if we were going to be a core celeb, you might as well get in on it first.
I'm grateful for the tip-off, Fred, but I don't know whether this is
Mr. Alleyn, I'm Charles Lampreys.
But aren't you Lord Wotherwood, now that Uncle Gabriel's...
I don't think we need complicate things. Mr. Alleyn, this is my daughter, Frida.
How do you do?
And my son, Henry.
Who is now Lord Roon.
Perhaps you'd care to come into the drawing room. These are my twin sons, Stephen and Colin.
How do you do?
My youngest, Michael, has been packed off to bed. My wife will be with us in a moment. Oh, I do beg your pardon, Robert. I should have introduced you. This is Roberta Gray, a very good friend of ours from New Zealand.
I've only just arrived in England.
And you walk straight into a murder.
Yes, it's all a bit bewildering.
It's bewildering for all of us, Mr. Alleyn. I'm afraid we're all rather shaken and confused by what's happened.
Yes, it must have been a very grave shock. I shall do my best to get through my investigation as quickly as possible, Lord Charles, but I'm afraid that even so it will be a long and unavoidably distressing business.
So what's going to happen, exactly?
Well, first of all, I want to get a coherent account of the events preceding the moment when Lord Wotherwood entered the lift. I think I should tell you that according to the commissionaire downstairs, it appears that no strangers came up here at all, this afternoon or this evening. So you will see that under the circumstances...
You mean whoever did it must be someone in this flat?
Yes. I only stress this point to make it clear to you that we must have a very accurate picture of everyone's movements. At the moment, we lack Lady Wotherwood and your wife, Lord Charles.
I'll go and get Lady Charles, shall I?
If you would be so kind, Miss Gray.
What about Aunt Kit? Where's she got to?
Aunt Kit? You mean there's somebody else?
I must admit I'd completely forgotten about Aunt Kit.
She must have opt off somewhere.
It's my aunt, Lady Catherine Lode. She was here with us this afternoon, but this dreadful business put her out of my mind.
Lady Charles is here now. We bumped into one another in the hall.
Please forgive me for keeping you waiting, Mr. Alleyn. I'm afraid I simply can't move my sister-in-law.
She must come, Mimmy.
Oh, Charlie, darling, if you saw her, I mean, honestly.
Can't Tinkerton do something?
She's no help at all. She simply says her mistress must not be moved.
Tinkerton is her ladyship's maid, I take it?
Yes, she's been with her for centuries.
We'll carry on as best as we can for the present. I've been over the sequence of events with Inspector Fox, and this is what seems to have happened. Lord Charles Lamprey and Lord Wotherwood were here together in the drawing room until about 10 minutes past 7. Lord Wotherwood decided to leave and went out of the room, making for the lift. I understand you didn't go with your brother, sir?
No, we said goodbye in here.
Lord Wotherwood's chauffeur...
Giggle?
I'm sorry?
Giggle. His name is Giggle.
Yes. Well, he says he heard Lord Wotherwood call loudly for Lady Wotherwood. Did any of you hear him?
Oh, it was difficult not to. Gabriel always shouted like that for people.
And where were you, please, Lady Charles?
In my bedroom.
Were you alone?
No, my sister-in-law was with me.
And did Lady Wotherwood join her husband straight away?
No. She said she'd like to go to the bathroom. She was in there for a rather long time, and Gabriel shouted again for her. When she did eventually emerge, I remembered that Gabriel didn't like working the lift himself, and nor did Violet. I asked one of the twins to take them down. I didn't notice which.
Which of you was it?
It was me.
You mean you both went down?
I went down, sir.
If you imagine Chief Detective Inspector Allen is going to be fooled by a childish trick like
I
this...
went down. Shut up, I did.
Did any of the rest of you notice which twin remained here and which went down with the Wotherwoods in the lift? No? Then we'll go on. Where were the rest of you at this time?
I was in Mother's bedroom.
Miss Gray?
I was in the dining room.
Right. So what we need to establish now is the condition of Lord Wotherwood when Lady Wotherwood, and whichever twin it was, stepped into the lift. But since her ladyship is indisposed, and since both young gentlemen insist that they went down with her, we are at something of an impasse. Under these circumstances, I would like to speak to Lord Wotherwood's chauffeur.
Giggle.
He's in the staff's sitting room. I'll get him for you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Don't trouble yourself. I'll stroll down there and have a word with him.
Any progress, Mr. Allen?
Nothing to speak of, Brer Fox. Questioning lampreys is like trying to grasp handfuls of wet sand that just slide through your fingers. However, I have discovered one useful fact.
What's that, sir?
The twin called Stephen has a slight stammer and a mole behind his left ear. Shouldn't be too much of a problem putting an end to their little game. Let's hope that Mr. Giggle will prove a little more cooperative.
Well, sir, it was like this. I've been helping Master Michael with his Hornby train. He was having a bit of trouble with the bogies.
Yes, please go on, Giggle.
And then I heard his lordship calling out for her ladyship, so I got my coat and cap from here and went off down the stairs. Sir.
And was anyone with you?
Master Michael came as far as the landing.
Where was Lord Wotherwood?
His lordship was in the lift, sir.
Were the doors open or shut?
I think they were shut, sir.
Did his lordship speak to you?
He told me to go down to the car, sir.
So you walked down by the stairs?
Yes, sir.
And did you meet anyone on the way?
I did pass the commissionaire in the hall, sir.
Did you speak to him?
I just mentioned his lordship seemed to be in a bit of a hurry, sir.
And how long were you waiting in the car?
Well, I couldn't rightly say. After a bit, Miss Tinkerton came down and joined me.
Her ladyship's maid?
Yes, sir. And then the young lady, Miss Gray, I think it is, came to fetch us up again, sir.
Thank you, Giggle. I think that'll be all, for the time being, at least.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I don't think any useful purpose can be served by keeping you all together any longer, though I'm afraid I must ask you to remain in the flat. Lady Charles, I'm sorry, but I would like to have a word with your son, Michael, if it's possible.
I've no objection, Mr. Allen, but Nanny will have a fit waking him at this hour.
I don't think you need worry, Mummy. When I last looked in, he'd got out that magnifying glass you gave him for Christmas. He said he was going to do some detective work.
Well, perhaps I'd better go and explain to him what it's all about. I'll bring him to you.
I'm sure that won't be necessary, Lady Charles. I wouldn't want to put you to any trouble. Perhaps, though, Nanny could be on hand while I have a word with the boy in his bedroom.
I'm sure Mr. Allen will be very considerate of me.
I'm sure he will, and Mike will be only too thrilled.
I don't imagine I shall be very long.
When you've met Mike, Mr. Allen, you'll realise that no one on earth could prime him with any story.
Don't be an ass, Fred. What you may not realise is that Mike is the most accomplished little liar. He'll think he's telling the truth, but if an agreeably dramatic invention occurs to him, he'll use it.
How old is Mike?
9.
Do you know that in the police courts we regard small boys between the ages of 8 and 14 as ideal witnesses? They're almost top of the list.
Really? And what type of witnesses do you regard as the bottom of the list?
Oh, young people of both sexes between the ages of 16 and 26.
Why?
The textbooks say that they're generally rather unobservant. Too much absorbed in themselves and in their own reactions. I'll collect Nanny on my way, Lady Charles.
And that puts us very firmly in our place. I don't think the lamprey repertoire of tricks and surprises is going to cut much ice with handsome Allen.
So that's where you've got to, Bathgate. I've got a bone to pick with you.
What do you mean? I haven't done a thing since we got here.
What's all this handsome Allen business?
I don't follow you.
It was in an article you contributed to True Detective magazine.
Damn it, Alan. It was meant to be a kind of joke. How did you find out about that?
Master Michael told me.
I might have known it would have been him. He's too smart for his own good. Did Did you get anything interesting out of him?
It all went swimmingly to start with. He was all too eager to play detectives, going through everything he remembered in minute detail.
Anything of any consequence?
Well, yes, there was one thing. He remembered seeing the murder weapon.
The skewer?
It had been left on the table outside the drawing room after the charade, but it wasn't there when Gabriel got into the lift. Mike noticed because he was saying goodbye to Giggle. He worships Giggle because he knows all about Hornby trains.
Anything else?
After that, it all started to go badly wrong. He kept on saying that Uncle G was in a terrible stink about something, but when I asked him if he knew why, Nanny stepped in very smartly and said he mustn't talk about things like that without asking his parents first. I thought I could nip that one in the bud by sending the constable off to fetch Lord Charles, but by the time his lordship arrived, the boy had worked himself up into the most terrific frenzy of rage.
Yes, in certain circumstances the Lampreys are rather inclined to go off the deep end.
He was screaming that Nanny was treating him like a damn silly kid when he was trying to help Scotland Yard, and that was when I committed my great gaffe.
How come?
Well, like a blasted idiot, I told him he'd never make a policeman if he couldn't keep his temper. And at that he pulled his bedclothes over his head, turned his face to the wall, and refused to speak another word. What could he have been wanting to tell me, do you think?
I've no idea.
I fancy you have every idea. Master Michael did happen to drop the name of Mr. Grimble.
Grimble? Who's Grimble?
Again, I think you know very well, Bathgate. It isn't a good idea for you to run with a hare and hunt with the hounds. I'll lay you 100 to 1 that Mr. Grimble, who sits in a corner of the kitchen, impassively still reading his morning paper, is a bailiff. And from there it's not difficult to work out why Uncle Gabriel was in such a stink.
89. Shh! Someone's coming up the stairs.
91, 92, 93.
Who on earth is it?
94.
I think there's only one person it can be.
Such a long, exhausting climb. The lift doesn't seem to be... Oh, I do beg your pardon. I thought for a moment you were my nephew.
Lady Catherine.
Speak up. I can't hear you, young man.
Lady Catherine, I wonder if I might have a word with you.
Yeah, oh. Surely you're not the police. Oh, it can't have come to that. Not already.
Where can I take the old lady? Somewhere I shan't be disturbed by the rest of the family.
Well, there's only one place you can be sure of that. Inside the lift.
Oh, this case grows more macabre every minute. How the devil am I to get her in there?
After all those stairs, she'll be only too grateful to sit down anywhere.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, this time, you're on your honour, Bathgate. Not a word to the Lampreys.
Too distressing. Oh, my poor nephew.
How did you come to hear about it?
He told me all about it this afternoon.
What? Who told you?
So very sad.
Lady Catherine, who told you what?
Why, my nephew, Lord Charles Lamprey. Oh, I do hope the police will not be too severe.
What did he tell you?
About my nephew Gabriel and himself. I was so terrified it would come to this.
To what?
Even now, I still hope that Gabriel may soften.
Then you do not know.
What did you say?
He's dead.
Oh, no. You didn't say dead, did you? I mean, I don't hear very well. And I thought... Please, tell me it isn't so.
I'm afraid it is. He's dead.
Oh, how terrible. And such a grave sin if he laid hands on himself. Poor Emmy. And what will become of the children?
Oh, good God. Not Lord Charles, Lord Wotherwood. Lord Wotherwood is dead.
Gabriel is dead?
Yes, Gabriel is dead.
Then I needn't have gone to all this trouble.
What trouble?
Why is Mr. Alleyn yelling like that?
He's been doing it for ages.
He sounds as if he's shouting at someone downstairs.
Or at someone deaf.
Oh, surely it can't be Aunt Kit.
Really, Emmy, why should Aunt Kit come back at this hour?
Everything's so odd that I wouldn't consider the return of Aunt Kit at midnight at all surprising.
Good God, it is Aunt Kit.
Emmy, darling.
Oh, Aunt Kit, where on earth have you been?
Oh, to Hampstead. by tube and bus. I should have returned sooner, but I caught the wrong bus when Mr. Nathan took such a long time.
And who is Mr. Nathan?
Mr. Isidore Z. Nathan, Charles. His shop was closed by the time I got there. It took simply ages to find out his home address.
You don't mean Uncle Izzy from the pop shop?
What, dear?
The pawnbroker in Admiral Street.
Well, I'd often thought of doing it before, but I always imagined Mamma might not have approved. But you are family, after all. You can always redeem them.
Aunt Kitty, you were talking about Great-Aunt Caroline's pearls.
Such luck that I always wear them. I asked Mr. Nathan to make the check out to you. Well, after what Gabriel said, I knew he would never
Aunt Kit, did you tell Mr. Allen about all this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Lord.
Well, surely he can't suspect that any of you... Oh, he seemed such a gentleman.
Darling, did you tell him we asked Gabriel for 2,000?
Well, I didn't exactly say how much. Now, that would hardly have been proper.
What was that? Listen. It's a lift. I thought the police had disconnected it.
Excuse me, my lord. I'm sorry to intrude, but Mr. Allen asked me to tell you that they're taking away the body of Lord Wotherwood.
Thank you, Inspector.
Very good.
Poor old Gabriel. You never knew him when he was young, Emmy?
Sadly, I didn't.
We were such close friends when we were boys. It seemed such a queer thing for him to go away from us like this.
I'm sorry to disturb you again, my lord, but it's Lady Wotherwood.
Charles! Charles!
What is it, Violet? What's the matter?
I must see Chief Policeman at once.
Are you feeling a little better?
Go away! I do not wish to speak to you. I wish to speak to Chief Policeman. They have taken away my husband's body. I must have it back.
I will arrange for your husband's remains to be brought back to your house in Brummel Street, Lady Wotherwood, as soon as the post-mortem has been carried out.
Post-mortem? What will they do to him? Will they do dreadful things?
Well, the surgeon will have to examine his injuries.
Before they bring him into the house, tell them they must cover his face with something heavy and thick. Close down his eyes. The eyes of the dead can see where those of the living are blind. Otherwise, how could they find their way, as they do, into strange houses?
I will see to it that Lord Wotherwood's eyes are covered.
Now, it must be understood that I will not be touched or followed. I warn you that there is a great peril in wait for anyone who tries to get in my way. I have a very powerful friend who guards me well.
Nevertheless, Lady Wotherwood, the circumstances of your husband's death oblige me to make very close inquiries.
You had better be careful. My husband died because he offended against one greater than himself. I have not been told by whose agency he died, but I know the force that killed him.
Lady Wotherwood, who took you down in the lift?
It seemed to be one of the nephews.
Seemed?
Seemed.
Lady Wotherwood, do you think it possible that somebody impersonated one of the twin brothers? Was there any recognisable mark?
Yes.
On the back of his neck?
I saw it.
Just here?
Yes. It was a sign. He does that sometimes.
Who?
The little master.
Ah, the little master.
Yes.
Do you think the attack on your husband happened before you reached the lift?
He sat huddled in the corner, not speaking. I knew he was angry. He had called for me in an angry voice. He had no right to treat me as he did. I warned him of his peril. I told him Nebiros would do my bidding.
Did you speak to him when you entered the lift?
Why should I speak to him? His hat was over his eyes. I thought he was asleep.
And when did you first notice that something was wrong?
When the lift was about halfway down, I tried to rouse him. He fell forward, and there he was, with that thing in his eye, and a red ribbon of blood running down his face. His mouth was wide open, and I opened my mouth like his, and I screamed and screamed. Ah! Ah!
So what was all that about?
It's so damn preposterous that I hardly dare to think I'm on the right track. If I am, it appears that Lady Wetherwood believes her husband was destroyed by a demon.
Well, that wouldn't go down very well at the Old Bailey, sir. Do you think she might have killed him herself?
We can't rule it out. In fact, there's precious little we can rule out. We know the Lampreys are in deep water and had hopes of extracting a large sum of money from the victim. We know that they used the skewer in their charade and that it was lying on the hall table at the time Lord Wetherwood stormed out of the drawing room. What's so infuriating is that any of the Lampreys could have grabbed that skewer, nipped across to the lift and done the dirty deed. And if it's one of the Lampreys, all the others will lie like flatfish to save his or her mutton.
All for one and one for all, so to speak.
Well, at least I now know which of the twins went down with the Wetherwoods in the lift. But before I settle their hash, I think I'd like a word with Mr. Bathgate.
He was in the kitchen when I last saw him, sir. I'll get him.
Making any progress?
Well, after talking to her ladyship, I really don't know whether I'm coming or going. I wish I could be certain that it isn't all just a very clever performance that she's putting on.
She's a bit eccentric, certainly. I could hear her from the other end of the hallway.
Eccentric as a rabbit on skate. That doesn't necessarily mean she's technically balmy.
She's had a couple of spells in a nursing home, of course.
Has she now? That maid of hers.
Tinkerton.
Has she been with her for some time?
For as long as I can remember. She's probably the one person who really knows her.
What kind of woman is she?
She isn't any kind of person, really. She has a permanent expression as if she disapproved of everything and everybody, as if the world wasn't quite nice.
Hardly sounds very promising, but I better have her in.
I was in the servants' sitting room when I heard Lord Wetherwood call out for her ladyship. When I reached the landing, I noticed his lordship sitting in the lift. Mr. Giggle had already started down the stairs, and I followed after him.
And you're positive you saw no one else?
No one.
Did Lord and Lady Wetherwood often pay visits to this flat?
No, sir, not very often. We came up from Deepacres for this particular occasion.
Yeah, that's the family home in Kent.
Yes.
And do you know why this visit was undertaken?
His lordship had a telegram yesterday from Lord Charles.
Have you any idea why he wanted to see his brother?
From what little I heard on the drive up, it was a business visit. I did not listen, of course.
Of course not. No.
But his lordship raised his voice once or twice and said that he would not do something his brother wanted him to do.
And what was that? Do you know?
The usual thing. Expecting his lordship to come to his rescue again.
You know, of course, that Lord Wetherwood has been murdered.
Everyone is saying so, sir.
And do you know how he was murdered?
Someone stuck a skewer in his eye.
And have you any idea who did it?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Well, you know he must have been killed by someone in this flat.
So they say. But it wasn't me. I told you I was downstairs when it all happened. Ask Mr. Giggle, he'll tell you.
How long have you been with Lady Wetherwood?
15 years. She's always been very kind to me.
And generous?
Very generous.
Have you noticed any change in your mistress of late?
No, sir, I can't say I have.
No signs of instability?
Oh, no, sir.
And her interest in black magic and such like, how long has this been going on?
I know nothing about that, sir.
But you say you've been with her for 15 years. Surely
I
you
won't
must...
talk about my lady. She's frightened and she's ill and shaking. It's not my place to answer questions about her.
All right. We'll leave it at that. But before you go, I want you to mark on this plan your exact position when you saw Lord Wetherwood in the lift.
I was standing about here, sir.
Thank you, Miss Tinkerton. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Miss Tinkerton.
Good night.
Well, at least she's out of it. That's one off the list.
Because she's left-handed, you mean? Yes, I don't think she's faking it.
That skewer could only have been driven in with the right hand.
She may be an accessory after the fact, of course. She certainly clammed up when I questioned her about her ladyship. And there's another thing. She couldn't have seen Lord Wetherwood if the lift door was closed.
Yes. Would you care to see the twins now, Mr. Allen?
I wouldn't care to see them at all, Fox. But I fear I have no alternative.
Right. I'll wheel them in.
You see, you are not absolutely identical. The distance between the outer corner of the left eye and the left-hand corner of the mouth is not precisely the same. And you, Stephen, there's the mole on the back of your neck. Lady Wetherwood noticed it in the lift. So you see, Colin, It'll be rather foolish of you to persist in saying that it was you who took her down. The law is not very amiable about false statements.
I think you're just trying to bamboozle us, Mr. Allen. I can't believe that Aunt V would have noticed.
Do pipe down, Colin. It's no go. I didn't kill Uncle Gabriel, but I did take him and Aunt V down in the lift. Don't commit any more perjury, Col.
Very well. It's not exactly a new stunt, Mr. Allen. It's a trick we've played for years whenever there was a really major row brewing.
So what did you do?
I went into the drawing room with Henry to talk to Father.
This was after Lord Wetherwood had gone off to the lift?
Yes.
So what did you talk about?
I didn't. I looked at Punch.
And what did they talk about?
I didn't notice. Oh, yes. Henry said something about Uncle G saying that Aunt V's maid had debauched Giggle.
And that's all you remember?
Yes.
Very well. So, Stephen, tell me about the lift.
Uncle G was sitting in there with the doors shut.
And who opened them?
I did. Aunt V was sort of hovering about on the landing. When I opened the doors, she tacked over and floated in. So I simply took the lift down.
And you didn't notice anything unusual about Lord Wetherwood?
I couldn't really see him. Aunt V was standing between us. He was sitting in the corner with his coat pulled up and his hat pulled down. I thought he was sulking.
Why should he do that?
He was a sulky sort of man.
And then?
About halfway down, Aunt V started screaming, and then I saw him properly. The skewer was sticking out of his eye, and he was making noises like an animal.
Before Lady Wetherwood started screaming, which way were you facing?
Towards the lift door.
Did you hear any kind of movement behind you?
No, nothing.
Not any kind of thud?
If I did, I don't remember it.
So, which one of us does he think did it, Nigel?
Fred, you really
Well,
can't...
after all, we know it's pretty serious.
If you'll take my advice, don't get up to any silly tricks. He's certain to see through them.
He saw through ours all right.
I think he's rather frightened.
I think he's absolutely gorgeous. I wish he'd send for me.
I suppose you think you're going to have a nice fat dramatic scene, ending in Alan throwing up the case because you're trop troublante.
I shan't do anything of the kind. I shall be very still and dignified and rather pale and delicately lovely.
Mr. Allen would like to have a word with Miss Gray. I'll take you along, miss.
So, what part of New Zealand do you come from, Miss Gray?
South Canterbury.
Ah, that's the south island, miss.
Yes, it is.
I was in Mackenzie County 4 years ago. And it was in New Zealand that you met the Lampreys.
Oh, yes. I stayed with them for a while. I thought they were the most wonderful people I'd ever met.
How did Lord Charles enjoy being a sheep farmer? I gather it wasn't altogether a success.
I don't think he took it really seriously. It was more an adventure than anything else. They all belong here, really.
Now, there's one particular point that needs clarifying. The business of Lord Wetherwood calling out for his wife.
Well, we were all here in the dining room when he shouted the first time.
And the second?
It was just after Mike had said goodbye to Giggle. And after Lord Wetherwood called out, I heard the sound of the lift going down.
You certain of that?
Oh, yes. I was trying to find a cigarette, and then I heard the lift come up again. I was leaning out of the window looking at London when I heard Lady Violet make that terrible noise.
Thank you. That is very interesting. You've got a note of that, haven't you, Fox?
Oh, yes, Mr. Allen.
Tell me, do you find the Lampreys much changed since you saw them in New Zealand?
Not really. They all look a bit more grown up than I remembered.
They haven't grown up as far as their pockets are concerned.
Oh, they've never worried much about money. It doesn't mean anything to them.
But if they're faced with bankruptcy...
Well, something always happens to save them.
I gather this time they may not be so fortunate. You see, we know why his lordship was invited here. Do you happen to know anything of the discussion which took place between him and Lord Charles?
Oh, yes. I know all about it.
Ah, how's that, miss?
Well, it's all rather embarrassing. You see, we all wanted to know what was going on. There's a boarded-up door between here and the drawing room. The one over there.
Oh, yes, so there is.
Well, we lay down on the floor and put our ears against it.
We?
Fred and Henry and me.
And the outcome of the discussion wasn't exactly favourable, I understand.
Oh, no, it wasn't like that at all. Lord Wotherwood agreed to rescue them.
He promised to help his brother out?
Oh, yes. I heard it quite clearly.
Well, thank you, Miss Gray. That'll be all.
Oh, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, miss.
Courageous little liar, isn't she?
Ah, you could put it that way.
If there were the slightest chance of it being true, the Lampreys would have been out with the story the moment we mentioned the talk between the brothers. And mark my words, Brer Fox, as soon as she tells them what she said, they'll be tumbling over themselves to come up with the same story.
Well, it won't be much good to them, I'm afraid. I was talking to one of the parlour maids. She's under notice, so she doesn't care what she says. And she heard the brothers through the pantry door, going at it hammer and tongs. Lord Wotherwood said he'd cut the Lampreys out of everything he could. And Lord Charles said, I wish there was some way I could cut you out for good.
Crikey.
Yeah, that's what I thought, sir.
Mr. Allen, I'm sorry to disturb your deliberations.
What can we do for you, Lord Charles?
It's Lady Wotherwood. She's insisting on going to her house in Brummel Street, and she's proving rather a handful, I'm afraid, threatening us with all manner of unseen forces. Even Tinkerton can't cope with her.
In that case, I think we should relax our restrictions a little. Lady Wotherwood should be in bed anyway, and I can easily arrange for a constable to keep an eye on Brummel Street. But perhaps it would be a good idea if one of you were to go with her ladyship.
Roberta Gray has already volunteered to accompany her.
That's rather a youthful guardian.
My son Henry says he'll go with her. With your permission, of course.
Certainly, Lord Charles. It's very late, and I don't see that we're going to get that much further tonight. We certainly need not keep Lady Catherine here any longer.
She has already gone, I'm afraid.
How's that?
She disappeared as mysteriously as she arrived. It's rather a habit of hers.
Well, she wasn't exactly at the top of our list of suspects. We'll recommence first thing in the morning, but I'm afraid that you and the rest of your household will have to remain here.
That is understood, Mr. Allen. I'll make arrangements for my sister-in-law's departure. I'm sure everyone will be highly relieved.
Oh, hello. What's up? Are we all going home?
It's 2:30. I think we would all be better off in our beds.
Any idea who did it?
Well, I'm keeping my own counsel at present.
I'd lay 1,000 to 1 it's that old witch.
That would certainly be the popular choice.
What exactly do you mean by that?
It would let your charming, slippery friends off the hook.
I'd risk everything I've got in the world on the Lampreys being out of it. And Aunt Violet is capable of anything. She's stark staring mad.
Yes, I wouldn't deny that. But there is one thing that puzzles me. If she did do it, why does she want his body brought back to the house?
Adonai, Dalme, Lode, Tetragrammaton, Aneration, and all you spirits of the night, come to my aid, that my purpose may be fulfilled and kept hidden from all the eyes of my enemies. Adonai, Dalme, Tetragrammaton, Aneration, and all you spirits of the night.
So, Brer Fox, how did your game of happy families go this morning?
It turned out exactly as you predicted, sir. I've taken their statements, and they were all falling over themselves to follow that New Zealand girl's lead.
Gabriel gave me hell, of course, but in the end he said he would see me through, as usual.
Oh, no, Inspector. What could have given you that idea? Gabriel agreed to help us out. He always did in the end.
Happy Families wasn't very wide of the mark. It's as if they were all playing some silly parlour game.
A pretty deadly game, if you ask me. Did you get anything out of that solicitor chap, sir?
Well, Mr. Ratisbon has been with the family for years, and understandably he's rather guarded on the subject of the Lampreys. But the basic situation seems clear enough. The Wotherwood legacy should see them safely out of their troubles, for the time being at least. But it was what he had to say about Lady Violet that really set me thinking. As the will stands, she comes into a very considerable fortune. But it seems that her husband was beginning to have his doubts as to what she was up to. In the words of Mr. Ratisbon, who is not, I imagine, given to making sensational statements, she was trying to perform upon Lord Wotherwood by some supernatural agency.
Bring about his death, do you mean?
He didn't elaborate. The point is, that he had been instructed to meet Lord Wotherwood this morning to obtain his signature to a new will, by which her ladyship would receive practically nothing.
So that puts the old lady and the Lampreys on an equal footing, so to speak.
It rather looks like it.
And I found out something rather interesting about her ladyship's maid.
Tinkerton?
Yes, sir. I've been having a quiet word with Master Michael's nanny.
Rather you than me, Brer Fox.
Well, she's fairly got a knife into Miss Tinkerton. You know what those old girls are like? She kept on hinting that she was a very inquisitive sort of woman, very much in with her ladyship and against his lordship. She also said that Miss Tinkerton had been carrying on with the manservants and with that Giggle, as she called him, in particular.
Yes, one of the twins mentioned something of the sort, and I found out something rather unexpected about Mr. Giggle.
What's that, sir?
By the terms of Lord Wotherwood's will, he receives £300 per annum and a small freehold property near Deepacres.
Yeah, but that hardly means...
Even so, I think we should have another word with Giggle. It does rather put him in a different position. Ring up the Brummel Street house and get him over here, would you, Fox?
As I told you before, sir, I don't know a thing. I've got nothing to do with it. I never wished his lordship dead. His lordship always treated me fair enough.
Yes, even to the extent of leaving you a nice little property, I understand.
I never asked for nothing. It was all along what my dad did for his lordship's father. You know, you can't pin that on me. It's always the same. If it's gentry and working men in trouble, the police always go for the working men all the time. It's one of the evils...
That'll be quite enough of that, Giggle. This isn't Speaker's Corner.
I just want you to answer one or two simple questions. Sit down.
I'd as soon stand.
Very well. You say you knew nothing about the tragedy until Miss Gray came down and told you. When you were going down the stairs, did the lift overtake you and go to the ground floor?
No, sir.
It didn't come down at all while you were on the stairs?
Look, what sort of set about the lift? It was up top. I never saw it go down.
Oh, that is all I want you to tell me. How did his lordship get on with his servants?
Good enough.
Really?
I'm not going to get myself trapped.
What is the matter with you, man? The Chief Inspector asked you a plain question. Why can't you answer it?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just all anyhow. His lordship was good enough with his staff. Well, a bit sarcastic at times, but I never minded that.
Did any of the staff prefer her ladyship to his lordship?
They might have.
Miss Tinkerton, for instance?
She might have.
Is there an attachment between you and Miss Tinkerton?
What the hell's that got to do with anything?
Just answer the question, Giggle.
Well, we might have been a bit friendly, like.
Did Tinkerton take Lady Wotherwood's part against her husband?
She's very fond of her ladyship. Been with her a long time, sir.
So did she sympathise with Lady Wotherwood when it came to any difference between them?
I suppose so, yeah.
Well, then there were differences between Lord and Lady Wotherwood.
Yes, sir.
What did they quarrel about, do you know?
Her ladyship's got some funny ideas. She takes up with funny people.
Would you say that she was mentally normal?
Well, Grace Tinkerton wouldn't like this said, but her ladyship was shut up for some time. Grace is very loyal to her.
All right. That's everything, I think.
Oh, thank God for that. I got so rattled thinking about it when Mr. Fox comes along and
that's
says...
all right, Giggle.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right, Bathgate. How do you fancy a little trip down to Kent?
What on earth for?
I want to take a look at Deepacres, the Wotherwood family home. Skim through a few letters and papers, that sort of thing. We'll leave Fox in charge here. I thought you might like to keep me company. We'll have to be quick about it, though. I want to be back in town by this evening.
So, are you two having a lovely time in Brummel Street, among all the vampires and warlocks?
Perfectly frightful. There's no electric light in half the rooms, and everybody has to stumble about by candlelight.
It's like being trapped in a very nasty fairy tale. There are stuffed bears everywhere and some seriously spooky pictures.
I think Mummy said that the house is supposed to come to us when Aunt V finally flies off on her broomstick.
God forbid.
I wouldn't be too sure. There are bound to be death duties.
What are death duties?
I don't exactly know, but there may not be that much money coming to us, particularly after all the debts have been paid off.
Just enough for learned counsel to defend one of us.
You would think of that.
Well, let's face it, one of us may have...
You don't have to worry, Fred. You haven't even been questioned.
I can't understand it. Is there something wrong with me, do you think?
I'd no idea that Deepacres was as grand as all this. Deer Park, private golf course. It's funny to think of the Lampreys coming home to this sort of roost.
I suppose Lord Charles was born here?
Yes, he was. Rather a terrific place, isn't it?
I imagine the Lampreys will make short work of it, if it all comes to them. There are a couple of men with cameras prowling about outside. What the devil are they up to?
Oh, I asked them to come down here. A bit of local colour for my piece on Gabriel's murder.
Yeah, well, that sort of thing might go very well with pictures of your lamprey chums being carted off in a police van.
I'm certain it will never come to that. Well, what do you want me to do? Anything in particular you'd like me to investigate?
Yes, I'd like you to take a look around and see if you can come across any evidence of her ladyship's witchy activities. I'm going to settle down in the library and take a look through Gabriel's desk.
Right. I'll get one of the servants to show me where her rooms are.
Dear Gabriel, you must be pretty sick of getting letters like this. But I really have come rather a cropper over this sheep farming caper.
Find anything of interest?
Oh, nothing's going to make the front page of your evening screecher. Begging letters from Lord Charles. Sometimes he struck lucky, but mostly he didn't. Oh, and I've discovered something about that property that's been left to Giggle. What's that you've got there?
I thought you might like to take a look at it. I found it at the back of a drawer in his lordship's room. It's very nasty, whatever it is.
A wax doll. Dressed up, I fancied it looked like Lord Wotherwood.
Someone's been trying to melt the feet.
Her ladyship trying her hand at a little sympathetic magic, I fancy.
Well, it didn't work.
At least she didn't stick a pin in his eye.
And I came across a scrap of paper. She'd been copying a passage out of a book called the Compendium Maleficarum, instructions for making something called a main de gloire.
So that's why she wanted the body back.
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, they'll be returning the late Lord Wotherwood to Brummel Street at 9 o'clock this evening, Bathgate. Oh, we've got to get back straight away.
Henry, wake up! Wake up, please!
Roberta, what's the matter?
It's Lady Wotherwood. I saw a light going past the door. She's gone up the stairs to that room, the one where they put Lord Wotherwood, and I can't get any of the lights to come on.
I'll go and see what she's up to. You'd better go back to your room.
No, I don't want to be left on my own. I'm coming with you.
The door won't open. She's locked herself in there with him.
What on earth's she doing?
Well, it sounds as if she's sawing through something.
I don't care for this at all.
Oh, where's the nurse anyway? She's supposed to be keeping an eye on her.
She's asleep. I just couldn't wake her.
Let's go and find the constable. He's just outside the front door.
We're slowing down again. I do believe this train is going to stop at every station between here and London.
If only the police car hadn't had that blasted puncture.
I've never known you so jumpy.
I'm worried about that crazy woman. God knows what she might have got up to by now.
Where's my lady? She's not in her room. I can't find her anywhere.
Well, she was in the room where they put Lord Wotherwood.
Well, she's not there now.
We can't wake the nurse and we can't find the constable anywhere.
That's Lady Wotherwood.
I only hope that's the police.
I must go to my lady.
What the hell's going on? Why are all the lights out? Where is everybody?
The fuse must have blown, and I think the nurse has been drugged.
And that's Lady Wotherwood.
Where is Constable Bailey?
We can't find him.
I had a call from Mr. Allen. He and Mr. Bathgate are at Charing Cross and on their way over.
You must come. You must come at once. It's my lady. She's murdered Giggle. She's gone completely out of her mind. I've always feared this might happen.
Can't we get that razor away from her?
Now leave it to me. Come on, my lady. You don't want to be playing with things like that. Come on. Hand it over. That's the way.
She's got something in her left hand. Good God!
It's horrible. That must have been what we heard. She's cut off Lord Wotherwood's hand.
The hand of glory.
Oh, what about poor Giggle?
His throat's been slashed, poor devil.
She killed him. She killed him.
The doctor's given her ladyship an injection, sir. She's much quieter now.
Get him to ring up the nursing home, will you, Fox? The sooner she's out of here, the better.
That's already been taken care of. What should I do about Miss Tinkerton? She keeps asking to see her ladyship.
Let her stay where she is. No one's to leave the house. I'm going to take a look at his lordship. You can come with us, Bathgate, if you promise not to be sick, and then we'll all meet together in the drawing room.
Very well, sir. I'll tell Mr. Henry and Miss Roberta.
What sort of epitaph can be written for the late Lord Wotherwood? Killed by cupidity and mutilated in the interests of black magic?
Dear old Giggle, what a terrible way to go.
I imagine that if he'd been asked, he'd have preferred it.
Preferred it to what?
To the big drop.
What?
Good God, is Giggle our murderer? But I thought he wasn't even in the building when it happened.
It was Miss Grey who gave me the vital clue.
Me? What did I say?
That after Lord Wotherwood had called out for his wife the second time, you heard the lift go down and then come up again.
You mean there was a trip down and up that wasn't accounted for?
But it can't have gone all the way down. The commissionaire said that the lift didn't come down to the hall until your brother brought it down with Lord and Lady Wotherwood in it. And even then it didn't reach the ground floor because her ladyship started screaming and the lift went back up again.
So the only explanation was that the trip that Miss Grey heard must have stopped at one of the other floors. So what actually happened was that Giggle walked down to the second floor and summoned the lift down, with Lord Wotherwood sitting in it. When it arrived, he slipped in, rammed the skewer into Wotherwood's eye, and sent the lift back up again. Then he walked on down as if nothing had happened.
But what possible reason could he have had for killing his master?
Well, to start with, there was his legacy, £300 a year, and the property.
But surely that isn't any
While we were at Deepacres, I discovered that there are plans to build a new railway line which will run directly across Giggle's piece of property. He would have received a very tidy sum by way of compensation.
And did Aunt V know that Giggle was the murderer? Is that why she killed him?
She didn't kill him. The razor was in her hand, but she didn't kill him.
Then who did?
You had a look at the corpse, Fox?
Yes, sir.
So what sort of murderer could inflict that sort of injury from behind the head of a victim lying on his right side in a bed by the left-hand wall of a room?
A left-handed murderer, Mr. Allen.
So, who?
Tinkerton, Bathgate. Tinkerton.
Tinkerton?
She was the Lady Macbeth of the enterprise. She knew, I'm certain, that Wotherwood was going to cut his wife out of the will, and that put her own very considerable expectations from her ladyship in jeopardy. And I fancy she knew about the new railway as well. She must have told Giggle that he had to act fast before Wotherwood got to hear of it and changed his mind. He was very stupid and easily manipulated by a woman like her. I imagine it was she who devised the business of the lift.
But in that case, why did she kill him?
Because he'd lost his nerve, gone to pieces completely. He was sweating like a pig the last time Fox and I talked to him, and he came close to blurting out the whole thing. And when they got back here to Brummel Street, Tinkerton saw the state he was in and knew that he was too dangerous. She couldn't afford to take the risk.
But none of this explains why that crazy woman cut off her husband's hand.
Well, Lady Wotherwood, as we all know, was obsessed with the occult. So obsessed that she'd paid for her enthusiasm with what little remained of her wits. She'd read about the magical powers of the severed hand of a man who'd been hanged or met a violent death, and she had a corpse under her own roof, and the opportunity to carry out this very unpleasant deed.
It's horrible. It's disgusting.
Tinkerton had always been deeply involved in her mistress's magical experiments. That scrap of paper you found at Deepacres, Bathgate, was not in her ladyship's writing, and I suspect it was copied out by Tinkerton. She realised that she could make it appear that Lady Wotherwood had murdered Giggle.
But what was the hand actually supposed to do?
To put all the inhabitants of the house into a deep sleep or deprive them of all motion. Be as the dead for the dead man's sake, as the poet puts it.
Well, it didn't have much effect on us.
Oh, well, we couldn't wake the nurse.
And Constable Bailey was in a corner of the kitchen, dead to the world, as you might say.
You don't mean that the thing actually worked?
No, Bathgate. I think you'll find that Tinkerton has slipped a morphia tablet into their tea. But it was enough to convince Lady Wotherwood.
I suppose that was why she felt free to scream out her magical gobbledygook at the top of her voice.
Tinkerton told her to go to the room at the end of the corridor where the body of Giggle was lying. She may even have persuaded her that the little master required a sacrifice.
Who on earth is the little master?
The devil, Bathgate. By the time her ladyship had found Giggle stretched out on the bed in the candlelight with his throat cut and had picked up the razor, she probably had no idea whether she'd murdered him or not. She's been taken into a private nursing home. I fear she may never recover her wits. But perhaps that's just as well.
How on earth am I to explain any of this to my readers?
Stick to the plain facts. After all, if you take away all the witchy trappings, it's really a simple story of greed. Tinkerton pushed Giggle into murdering his master because she reckoned they had a lot to lose if Lord Wotherwood altered his will. And then she had to kill Giggle to shut him up. And you should be grateful that your charming friends escaped unscathed.
Henry's talking about getting a job.
Could that have anything to do with the little New Zealander?
Everything to do with it, I should think.
She's a courageous little party.
The Lampreys are going to be quite rich. Perhaps they'll turn over a new leaf now and become quite miserly.
That would be too much to hope for, Bathgate. I just hope that the whole experience will be a salutary lesson to them.
Well, that's all over, thank goodness. And now I think we deserve a little rest. Why don't we creep away somewhere for a holiday? Somewhere rather unsmart where we could bathe and blow away the horrors and have a tiny bit of mild gambling at night.
How about Monte Carlo? That's very unsmart nowadays.
Oh, yes, somewhere quite dull and cheap.
Opening Night by Ngaio Marsh. First broadcast on BBC Radio 4 in 2000. Dramatised by Michael Bakewell and produced and directed by Enid Williams.
But don't you realize? His death has set us free. No more hiding, no more lies.
And what will you do with your freedom? Will you stay, or will you go back?
Back to the island. Back to my refuge from the world. Oh no, that's no longer an option. I'm going to stay.
It won't be easy.
Life isn't meant to be easy, my dear. But it is meant to be lived. Come.
Everybody on?
Are we all here?
No, where's Ben?
Mr. Bennington! Mr. Bennington!
Well, we can't wait for Ben. Take it up, Clem. Where the hell's Ben got to?
What's the betting he comes on for a star call?
He's locked himself in!
He probably passed out. Had a couple more drinks since he came off.
I've got a spare key.
Take it up, Clem.
On you go, Dr. Rutherford.
Thank you all. I'm much obliged to you, ladies and gentlemen, and to our actors. The actors are much obliged too, no doubt to you, but not necessarily to me.
Gas.
Gather
There's a smell of gas. You're right. Tell Clem to get the curtain down as soon as he can, without creating a panic.
Wine needs no bushel, therefore to beg will not become me. What the devil do you think you're playing at? I have nearly finished.
It's Ben. He's gassed himself. Looks as if he's dead.
We present Jeremy Clyde as Chief Detective Inspector Alleyn in Opening Night by Ngaio Marsh.
Gassed himself in his dressing room. Something about that rings a bell. Does it with you, Mr. Allen?
A positive peal of them, Brer Fox. The Jupiter Theatre murder 5 years ago.
Oh, yes. Homicide dressed up to look like suicide, wasn't it? Were you on the case, sir?
I certainly was. There was a gas fire in the dressing room and another one in the room next door, back to back with it. The job was done by blowing down the tube of the gas fire next door. This put the fire out in the dressing room, but left the gas on. The victim was in a drunken stupor, and then the trick worked. We only got the murderer because of traces of crepe hair and grease paint left on the tube.
So what became of the theatre? There's nowhere called the Jupiter now.
Oh, that's just the point. It's the same place. It was shut up for 2 or 3 years at least, and then Adam Poole took it over, got a permit to renovate it, and named it the Vulcan. I imagine this is only his second production there.
And now the same things happened all over again.
It looks very like it, Brer Fox. And actors are a pretty superstitious bunch at the best of times. God knows what kind of a state they'll be in by the time we get there.
This theatre, this awful theatre.
I know, Helena, darling. It's as though there's some sort of jinx on the place.
Ben was haunted by it, I'm sure of it, J.G.
All right, Ella. Perhaps what happened here 5 years ago did give Ben the idea of gassing himself, but he would have found the means in any case.
Why? Why did he do it, Adam?
He was in a bad way, Ella. He'd gone completely to pieces and he knew it.
He was certainly in the mood to do something desperate.
And I wasn't much help, was I, Parry?
though I did my best to be a good wife to him for as long as I could.
I knew just as soon as I smelt the gas. There's a thing in this theatre. I just sat there and I knew. Oh, I do feel sick.
Gay, for pity's sake, what are you talking about?
It was fate, Parry. I just felt it.
You mustn't let yourself get obsessed by this thing, Gay.
I wasn't a bit surprised, J.T. I just knew something had to happen tonight.
Do you mean to say that you sat here by yourself in the green room waiting for fate to strike?
Isn't it amazing? I'm so terribly sorry, darling Helena. But we're together in this, aren't we? He was my uncle and your husband.
The police are here. They're in Ben's dressing room with Dr. Rutherford.
Do you think they'll want to keep us here long, Clem?
The Inspector Alleyn, asked me to say that if the whole thing's straightforward, it shouldn't be too bad.
What do you mean, straightforward?
I imagine he means if they're satisfied that it was suicide.
But they can't think that anyone murdered Ben, surely.
Murder? That's what it was last time. Murder made to look like suicide. And now it's happened again. And this time it's Uncle Ben!
Filthy smell, gas. Always hangs about in cases like this. He looks pretty ghastly in that makeup.
My dear chap, the makeup was required for my play. It should, in fact, be a damn sight more repellent.
Why is he so thickly powdered?
He needed it. He sweated like a pig. Alcohol and a dicky heart.
Did you look after him, Dr. Rutherford?
No, I don't practice nowadays. I gave it up when the writing business began to pay off. I don't know who his medical man was. His wife can tell you that.
Helena Hamilton?
Yes, poor woman.
There's a mark under the jaw. Makeup is thinner there. Is it a bruise?
Looks as if someone threw a punch at him. Well, we can get a better idea when they've cleaned him up a bit.
Now, who found him?
Jacko, I believe.
Jacko?
Jacques Doré. He's French-Canadian. Adam's assistant, among other things. You'll find him in the night watchman's kitchen.
Well, thank you for all your help, Dr. Rutherford. I'd be grateful if you could hang on with the others in the green room for a while, until the situation becomes a little clearer.
Of course, of course. I shall curl up in an armchair and hand myself over to care, charmer, sleep. Wake me up if you require my services.
You are Mr. Poole's assistant, I believe, Monsieur Doré.
That is something of an understatement, Inspector. Let us rather say dog's body in ordinary to the Vulcan Theatre. Set designer, costume designer, Johannes Factotum. And not without bells on. At the moment, I'm boiling up cans of soup for the company. Another of my little talents.
I gather it was you who found the body.
I unlocked the door. The callboy had been hammering away at it unavailingly for a long time.
And can you describe to me what you found?
Clark Bennington was lying near the gas fire. I could only see his legs and the lower part of his body. The rest of him was hidden by his coat, which was pulled up over the fire, and his head and shoulders. It looked rather like a tent. I could hear the hiss of the gas fire going on underneath. The lead to the fire had been pulled away and was in his mouth. I turned off the gas, so you will doubtless find my fingerprints, Inspector.
Plain sailing, wouldn't you say, Mr. Allen?
On the face of it.
Probably the past history of the place, the previous suicide, preyed on Bennington's mind and led him to do away with himself in the same fashion.
He must have also entertained the very nasty notion of throwing suspicion of foul play on his fellow actors. If there's a gas fire in the dressing room back-to-back with this one...
Which there is.
The devil there is. So what does this Bennington chap do? He recreates as far as possible the whole setup, leaves no note, no indication of his intention to gas himself. Who's next door?
Mr. Parry Percival, the juvenile lead, though I gather he's not so juvenile as he used to be.
So Bennington does himself in, leaving our aging juvenile ostensibly in the position of the Jupiter murderer. It's a rotten sort of suicide, wouldn't you say, Brer Fox?
We don't know anything for certain yet, of course. Do you want to read Sergeant Gibson's inventory?
If the sergeant's been his usual meticulous self, perhaps you could skip some of the more dispensable points of detail.
One cardboard box containing false hair, substance labelled nose paste, one unopened tin of face powder, 6 sticks of grease paint.
No powder pad?
Powder pad?
For him to powder his face with?
It's not in the inventory. A cigarette case with 3 cigarettes and 1 packet of 50, used tumbler smelling of brandy, and flask 1/6 full of brandy concealed behind mirror.
A fairly ineffectual hiding place. Anything else?
Considerable quantity of powder spilt on shelf and on adjacent floor area.
Well, that's certainly true. Somebody must have knocked down a box of powder. It's gone over everything. Could you check with Mr. Doré whether this happened after he found the body?
Yes, sir. Some paper ash on the floor, original form indistinguishable, and signs of something having been burnt in the hearth.
What was in his clothes?
Bills, old racing card, checkbook. That's about it.
Right. I wish I could say I believed in all this, Brer Fox, but I can't. There's something wrong, but I can't put my finger on it. Have you got a list of the company?
Yes, Mr. Allen, I've got it here.
Who have we got exactly?
We have Adam Poole himself, popularly known as the Governor.
Shades of Henry Irving. Yes?
Helena Hamilton, the leading lady and wife of the dead man. Gay Gainsford, who is Bennington's niece, I believe. J.G. Darcy, whom I think we might describe as the character man, and Parry Percival, the aforementioned juvenile. Oh, and there's a girl called Martin Tarn, an understudy who went on for Miss Gainsford this evening.
Why was that?
Some kind of hysterical breakdown, I understand. Miss Tarn comes from New Zealand and has only been with the company for 3 days.
Oh, is that so? Well, when we come to question everyone individually, perhaps we should start with Miss Tarn, so that we can see the whole setup through a fresh pair of eyes. Oh, I suppose we'd better go and have a word with the cast. We can't put off the dread moment any longer.
It's going to be damn bad publicity.
Heavens above. The publicity. None of us thought of that.
Did we not?
I must say I would like to know what's going to happen. Do we carry on with the run of the play or what?
Yes, we go on. Isn't that so, Adam?
Ella, I've got to think. There are so
We
many.
go on. We must go on.
Does that mean I take over from Ben? I was his understudy, after all.
I can't bear it. I think you're all awful. To sit round and talk about the show as if nothing had happened, when beyond those doors he's lying there dead and forgotten. It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard of, and if you think I'm ever coming near this horrible, fated, haunted place again, I'm telling you now that wild horses wouldn't drag me back.
Child, you're overwrought. You don't know what you're saying.
You'd got rid of me anyway.
Oh, darling, we've done no such thing.
Just because I went on for you tonight, Gay, doesn't mean...
Oh, doesn't it? You angled for this wretched part, Martin Tarn, and now you've got it. I think it's extremely likely you're responsible for what's happened.
Stop that at once, Gay. Stop it.
I won't. I won't be gagged. It drove my Uncle Ben to despair, and I don't care who knows it.
Chief Inspector Allen.
I'm afraid the first thing I have to say to you won't be very pleasant news. We don't look as if we're going to get through our side of this unhappy business as quickly as I'd hoped. I know you're all desperately tired and very shocked, and I'm sorry, but the general circumstances aren't quite as straightforward as you probably suppose them to be.
What exactly do you mean, Inspector?
Miss Hamilton, I believe.
Perhaps at this moment it would be better to call myself by my married name, Helena Bennington.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you will have guessed that one can't overlook the other case of gas poisoning associated with this theatre.
Yes, of course. We've all been talking about it.
I'm sure you have, and so have we. And I expect you've wondered if the memory of that former case could have influenced your husband.
I'm certain it did. We all are.
Have you any specific argument to support this theory?
Nothing specific, no. But I know that my husband didn't like this theatre on account of that other dreadful business. He felt that there was an unpleasant atmosphere in this place. In a way, I think it had a rather horrible fascination for him.
Did anyone else notice this fascination of Mr. Bennington's?
Oh, yes. I did. He talked to me about it. But when he saw how much it upset me, because I'm so stupidly sensitive to atmosphere, I just can't help it.
You are Mr. Bennington's niece, I believe, Miss Gainsford.
Yes. It was a rather marvellous relationship. My father died in the war, and Uncle Ben really felt we were awfully near to each other. Do you know, that's why it's so devastating for me, because I sensed how wretchedly unhappy he was.
Do you mind telling us why you thought him so unhappy?
I don't think any of us have any doubt about my husband's unhappiness, Mr. Allen. Ben drank so heavily that he had ruined his health and his work quite completely. I wasn't able to help him, and we were not... Our life together wasn't true. Tonight, he behaved very badly on the stage. He coloured his part at the expense of the other actors, and I think he was horrified by what he had done. I feel he suddenly looked at himself and couldn't face what he saw.
It would help me very much if any of the rest of you could tell me any happenings or remarks that might indicate that he had this thing in mind.
I think, perhaps...
Forgive me, but I don't yet know all your names.
I expect she's hoping to see hers in lights, aren't you, darling?
This is Miss Martin Tarn. She is, or should be, our heroine tonight. Miss Gainsford was taken ill, and Miss Tarn, who was the understudy, took her part at half an hour's notice. We'd all be extremely proud of her if we had the wits to be anything but worried and exhausted.
And what have you remembered, Miss Tarn, that you think might help us?
It was something he said when he came off in the last act.
For his final exit in the play?
Yes. He spoke very disjointedly, but I do remember one thing quite distinctly, because it puzzled me very much. He said, "I just wanted to tell you that you needn't suppose what I'm going to do," and then he broke off.
Thank you, Miss Tarn. I begin to get the idea that none of you was very surprised by this event. Is that so?
Oh, I don't know that I'd... Oh, let it pass.
Pipe up, Narcissus. The inspector won't bite
Oh,
you.
shut up! You're all being so bloody frank and sensible about the suicide. You're so keen to show everyone how honest you are.
I am myself indifferent honest. How have we offended you, young Ganymede?
I know what you think of me, Doctor, and it doesn't say much for your talents as a diagnostician. But if it's queer to feel desperately sorry for a man who was miserable enough to shove a gas jet down his throat, if it's queer to be mentally and physically sick at the thought of it, then by God, I'd rather be queer than normal.
If you're the normal man you'd have us all believe, why the hell don't you show like one? Here, ladies and gents, is an alleged actor who an hour or two since was made a public and egregious figure of fun by the deceased before an audience of whinnying nincompoops, who before his final and most welcome exit suffered himself to be tripped up contemptuously by the deceased and who fell on his painted face.
That's quite enough of that, Rutherford.
Ladies and gents.
You're supposed to be in charge here, Inspector.
Yes, Alan, I really do think this is all getting fantastically out of hand. If we're all satisfied that this case of suicide...
Which we are not. What? We've reached a point where it's my duty to tell you that I'm by no means satisfied that there is, in fact, a case for suicide.
Is it not strange how loath one is to pronounce the word that is in all our minds? Murder. So beastly, isn't it?
Is there somewhere I can use as an office, Mr. Poole, where I can talk to each of you independently?
Yes, of course. Use mine. It's on the other side of the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. If I may, I would like to have a word first with Miss Tarn.
May I ask a question?
As many as you like, Miss Tarn.
Why me? Why do you want to speak to me first?
You're not my prime suspect, Miss Tarn.
Oh.
It's simply because you've only been working at the Vulcan Theatre for 3 days that I want you to give me your first impressions of the company. I gather you've recently arrived from New Zealand?
Just over a fortnight ago. I can hardly believe it. You see, my money was stolen on the ship, and I had to get some kind of job rather quickly.
As an actress?
Well, yes. I'd had a bit of experience in New Zealand, and I didn't think it would be all that difficult. Well, I left my name with all the agencies. I went to every audition that was going, but no one wanted to know. After 2 weeks of dragging around London without any luck, I was exhausted and starving and pretty well beginning to give up hope. And then, one evening, I just happened to find myself outside this place.
The Vulcan Theatre?
Yes. I wandered inside without really thinking, and I heard Clem, the stage manager, phoning someone about a replacement for Miss Hamilton's dresser, who'd been rushed to hospital for an appendix operation.
Yes, what is it?
I believe you're looking for a dresser.
Are you from Mrs. Greenacres?
I understood you required a dresser, and I would be pleased to apply.
It's for Miss Helena Hamilton. We open on Thursday, 2 quick changes and so on. You've got references?
I haven't actually brought any.
Look, there isn't time. Can you start straight away?
It really was the most astonishing piece of good fortune.
It certainly was. The only drawback was that I had no money, so the night watchman let me spend the night in the theatre, sleeping in...
What's the matter, Miss Tarn?
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that. I don't want him to get into trouble.
It's hardly a matter for Scotland Yard. But go on with your story.
I was terrified of meeting Miss Hamilton at first. I thought she'd see through me straight away. But she couldn't have been friendlier.
You've come to help me, haven't you? Now that is kind. I'm sure we'll get on famously together.
And she turned her back on me. It took me a moment or two to realise that this was my cue to take off her coat. And then Mr. Bennington came in. It never occurred to me that he was her husband.
I've been having a word with Rutherford.
Oh, really? What about?
About young Gay. He's been going on at her again. So has Adam. I wanted to talk to you.
Well, so you shall. But I shall have to change now, Ben. This is my new dresser, Martin Tarn.
You see, I thought she must be married to Adam Poole.
What made you think that?
Well, they seemed so loving towards one another. And then a beautiful box of orchids arrived from him, and that seemed to clinch it.
Darling!
Ella, hello!
He had the next-door dressing room, and they called to one another through the wall.
Darling, they're quite perfect. Thank you, my sweet. Oh, hello, Gay. Everything under control?
I suppose so. I'm trying to be good and sort of biddable, but underneath it all I'm simply trembling with fright.
Now listen, Gay. You're going to make a great personal success of this part. It's a marvellous chance for you.
So everyone keeps on telling me. But Dr. Rutherford obviously thinks I shouldn't be playing it at all. He says I'm a misfit.
Oh, that's nonsense, Gay. He may seem hard at times.
Seem?
Well, he may be hard then. He's famous for it. But he's written a marvellous play. I'll have a word with him.
Can I tell him that?
Yes, Gay, you may tell him.
Oh, you're so miraculously kind, Auntie Ella. Oh, do forgive me. Helena, darling. Thank you.
And she was off. I don't know whether she even noticed me. But I just happened to catch sight of Miss Hamilton's face in the mirror. She was looking at me very intensely. And at that moment, Dr. Rutherford came in.
Odds teeth, what have we here?
My new dresser. Martin, Dr. Rutherford.
Stay me with flagons. That fool of a wench Gainsford said you wanted to have a word with me.
Yes, I did. What on earth have you been saying to that poor child?
Nothing at all. I merely asked if, for the sake of my sanity, she'd be good enough to play the central scene without a goddamn simper all over her face.
You frightened her.
She terrifies me. I wrote this part for an intelligent actress who could be made to look like Adam. What do you give me? A moronic amateur who looks like nothing on God's earth. If I had my way, I'd have kicked her out long ago. Even now, it's not too late.
John, we open in 2 days.
An actress worth her salt could memorize the part in an hour. And I may as well tell you, I don't like the way that Ben is shaping up in the big scene. If Adam doesn't watch him, he'll be up to some bloody leading man hocus-pocus.
John, he won't. I'm sure he won't.
No, you're not. And as for that discard from the waxworks, Mr. Parry Percival, have I not stipulated from the beginning that I will not have any of those queer abortions in my works?
Parry isn't queer.
Oh, yes, he is. I have an instinct for these things, my girl.
I give up.
You don't do anything of the sort, my sweetie pie. You're going to be a sensation in the part I've written for you. Just think of that. And leave all the rest to me.
For God's sake, don't quote from Macbeth. If Gay Gainsford heard you doing that, she really would go off the deep end.
Which is precisely where I'd like to push her.
Oh, go away. You're a wonderful playwright, but you're quite hopeless.
The audience is concluded?
It certainly is. And close the door after you. Oh. I need a cigarette. Martin, run round to my husband.
Right.
He's got my cigarette case.
And of course, like a fool, I went straight to Mr. Poole's dressing room.
Helena's cigarette case? No, I haven't got it. Ella?
Yes, darling?
I haven't got your cigarette case.
No. Ben's got it. I said my husband, Martin. Mr. Bennington.
So I went along to Mr. Bennington's dressing room.
On the opposite side of the passage?
Yes. He had a glass of brandy in his hand, and he was talking to Mr. Darcy.
It's not my place to interfere, old boy, but I do feel for the poor child damnably, you know. Rutherford never loses an opportunity to take it out on Gay.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm damned angry about it. Yes, my dear. What can I do for you? This is my wife's new dresser, J.G.
Really? Good morning, child. See you in a while, Ben.
And what can I do for the new dresser?
Miss Hamilton sent me to ask if you could let her have a cigarette case.
Have I got it? Try my overcoat, my dear, behind the door. This your first job as a dresser?
I've worked in the theatre before.
And where was that?
In New Zealand.
Really? In New Zealand?
I'm afraid the case isn't here.
God, what a bore. Pass me my jacket, will you?
He rummaged about a bit, and eventually he found it. And then he gave me a long, hard look. The kind I'd had from Mr. Darcy and Miss Hamilton.
New Zealand, eh?
He saw the resemblance between you and Adam Poole.
Yes. Oh, I was coming to that.
Take your time, Miss Tom. What happened next?
There was a photo call on the stage, with everyone in full costume.
Darling, it's not going to be a flash, is it? With all of you looking like village idiots, and me like the third witch on the morning after the cauldron scene.
Not if you can hold the pose for 3 seconds, Ella.
It all went pretty smoothly until it came to the photograph of Gay Gainsford scene with Mr. Poole. He wanted her to run the lines, and I could see that she was terribly nervous.
It's not enough for you to look like me, Gay. You've got to be me. You're supposed to be my heredity, confronting me like a threat. So, now, let's take it with the line. You've got your head in your arms. You raise your face slowly to look at me.
Don't you like what you see?
Yes. But with a little gesture, remember?
Don't you like what you see?
I had as lief the town crier spoke my line.
Oh, do shut up, Rutherford.
Oh, it offends my soul to hear my passion towards attackers.
And of course, poor Miss Gainsford burst into tears. After it was all over, the man they called Jacko came up to me.
No one makes any introductions in this theatre, so we introduce ourselves to each other. I am Jacques Doré.
Right.
And you are the little chick whom the stork has brought too late, or dropped into the wrong nest. It is a pity you are a little dresser, and not a little actress.
Before the first dress rehearsal that night, he insisted on taking me out for a meal. I think he was rather sorry for me. I wanted to talk to him about the play, but he was rather nervous about it. I don't know why.
It is a modern morality play, a new play with a very old theme.
And do you think it's any good?
Oh, sure, it's a good play. Rather in the continental manner of Sartre and Ennui. It is about a man confronted by his own heredity. And it is essential the secondary part actress should resemble the leading man. From hundreds of anxious ingenues, we select the one who is least unlike Adam, but still very unlike. And though I am a genius with makeup, there is very little I can do about it. So we depend entirely on the acting, on the way the girl will reflect Adam's way of speaking and his mannerisms. But this Miss Gainsford cannot do, because she is an actress of very little talent. Upon this scene there enters, in the form of a dresser.
What are you trying to say?
If I sat down to draw the daughter or younger sister of our leading man, you are what I would draw. And so, of course, the theatre is full of rumors and suppositions about a child born the wrong side of the blanket.
But he knows nothing about me. I've never seen him before, except in films in New Zealand.
And tell me, was it to get a job as a dresser that you came all the way from New Zealand?
For any job. All right, I wanted to work as an actress, but if you think I'm secretly hoping that Miss Gainsford will get laryngitis or break a leg, you couldn't be more mistaken.
Not even a little touch of laryngitis? I think you are either a little hypocrite or perhaps you are not a very good actress.
After the dress rehearsal had got going, I managed to watch some of it from the wings, and I realised the truth of what Jacko had said.
Miss Gainsford was not good?
It was not that so much. There were gestures of Adam Poole's that she was supposed to mimic, and lines she was expected to echo. But she just couldn't do it, and the harder she tried, the worse it got.
But it's you! Don't you see? You can't escape from it!
What I didn't realise was that Mr. Bennington was standing beside me. He smelled terribly of brandy.
So you think you could do better?
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Hamilton want me to change over the third act.
No, I want you to tell me what this is all about and who the bloody hell you are.
You know who I am. Please let me go.
My wife's dresser and my wife's lover's little by-blow. Is that the story? Tell me.
Off you go, Miss Tarn. Miss Hamilton will be waiting. You're an offensive fellow in your cups, Ben. Get along and change for the last act.
The rehearsal didn't end until well after midnight. I still hadn't been paid anything, and I had nowhere to go.
So you decided to spend another night in the theatre?
I went into Miss Hamilton's dressing room to wait until everyone else had gone home. But I found Mr. Poole in there, sitting in front of the gas fire.
Come in, Miss Tarn. I want to talk to you. Do sit down, please.
Thank you.
I want to apologise to you for Mr. Bennington's behaviour. He's not likely to do so for himself.
That really didn't matter.
Well, of course it mattered. For both of us. You're a New Zealander, I understand. How old are you?
I'm 19.
I toured New Zealand in my first job 20 years ago, and Bennington was in the company. Hence his charming little line about my by-blow. Under the circumstances, I hope you won't mind my asking you who your parents are.
My father was Edward Tarn. He was killed in the war in Crete.
And your mother? What was her maiden name?
She always thought it sounded silly. Paula Poole Passington.
Of course, that's it. An old cousin of my father's. His name was Poole. Married someone called Passington and went off to New Zealand. Did you know of the connection?
Yes, I did.
You might have mentioned it.
I preferred not to.
Too proud?
If you like.
And did you know about the girl's part in this play?
When I was at one of the agencies, someone told me they'd been looking for a girl who looked like you. But by then the part had been cast. I didn't want to come here, but when I discovered there was a vacancy as a dresser...
The question is, what are we going to do about it now? Let's go down to the stage, shall we? Jacko's waiting for us.
You saw the scene from the wings this evening. It's quite simple. All you are required to do is to sit at the desk. Adam will come in, and he will run his hand through his hair, and you will make the same gesture. Then you will say, "Don't you like what you see?" Is that understood?
Yes, I think so.
Then let's try it. Sit down at the desk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were in here. I just wanted to...
Don't you like what you see?
Can you do that again?
I don't know. I suppose so. Do you want me to try?
No, I don't think so. You did that very well. You can understudy the part from here on. And now Jacko will take you home to his house, where there's a small flat in the attic. You need have no fears. You'll be perfectly safe.
You are not my type, Miss Tarn. I prefer my ladies more mature. More mundane.
One other thing. Take this. It's the part. 13 pages of it. By tomorrow, you will be word perfect.
And were you?
Pretty well, bar one or two fluffs. Although I wasn't so sure when the stage manager took me through the moves. I was going over them by myself in the wardrobe room when I realised that Miss Gainsford was watching me.
I suppose you know what you're doing to me.
All I know is that I'm going to be your understudy. I'm damn grateful, but it's just any old understudy.
I think it's pretty cool to talk about any old understudy when you're the spitting image of Adam Poole.
Oh.
I've had to have an urchin cut and dye my hair, and all I get is everybody screaming insults at me. I loathe the play and everything to do with it. Why couldn't Uncle Ben leave me where I was, playing in weekly rep? But he made me go on with it. I hate him. I was miserable enough, God knows, but now I just don't know what to do with myself. If you have any pity for me at all, you'll go and tell Adam Poole you can't do it.
But you didn't give in to her?
Oh, yes, I did. Mind you, it wasn't just the understudy she wanted me to give up. She wanted me out of the theatre altogether. I went to see Mr. Poole, but he wouldn't hear of it.
And when it came to the second dress rehearsal, was she any better then?
To be honest, she was worse than ever. She just looked so desperately miserable all the time. But Mr. Bennington was doing his best to convince himself that she was fine. I overheard him talking to Jacko about it in the passage that leads from the stage to the dressing rooms.
The kid was all right, didn't you think so, Jacko?
1 minute to curtain call, please.
Sure. I must go then.
Wait a bit. If the fools would only leave her alone, she'd be perfectly all right. I can tell you one thing. If our celebrated author makes any of his nasty quips about her tonight, I shall take a hand. I've still got a trick or two up my sleeve.
What did he mean by that, I wonder?
I've no idea. Dr. Rutherford was very quiet while Mr. Poole was giving his notes, but I thought he looked like a slumbering volcano. And he kept turning his eyes in my direction.
But he didn't say anything?
Not until I was about to go home, and then he suddenly exploded.
I don't want that wench to leave. I've got to talk to you, Adam.
Run along home, Miss Tarn. You must be very tired.
Oh, no, you don't. I want the wench to stay, Adam.
I didn't stop to hear any more. I just fled as if my life depended on it.
And the following morning? This morning, I should say.
Nothing. If Dr. Rutherford was trying to persuade Mr. Poole to give Miss Gainsford the push, he obviously didn't succeed.
And how was she?
Oh, she looked scared stiff when she came in. Mr. Darcy brought her in a taxi.
I'm so frightened of him, J.G.
I won't have it. By God, if he worries you again, author or no author...
It's not him. I know he's simply filthy to work with, but it's not him, really.
Then who is it?
It's Uncle Ben. I'm just plain terrified of him. I don't know what to do.
So what finally tipped her over the edge?
Macbeth, I think.
Macbeth?
Jacko was in her dressing room, putting the finishing touches to her makeup. She was pretty hysterical already from what he told me.
There's a jinx on this place, Jacko. Something that drove that man to murder. In the very dressing room where Uncle Ben is now. And it's out to get me tonight. What am I going to do?
You are going to go on and play your part and stop all this nonsense. It is the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil.
What did you say? That's from Macbeth. You quoted Macbeth in my dressing room!
She just went berserk, threw a bottle of wet white at the mirror and screamed the place down. After that, there was nothing for it but for me to go on in her place, and Miss Hamilton had to do without me as a dresser. I can't remember anything else. I was in a kind of daze. Apart from actually going on, I didn't notice anything until Mr. Bennington came up and spoke to me after he came off stage.
I just wanted to say, I suppose you aren't to be blamed. You saw your chance and took it.
No.
But I'm not worrying about that. I just wanted to tell you that you needn't suppose what I'm going to do. You needn't think... I mean...
And I think that was just about the last thing he said to anyone.
Thank you, Miss Tarn. I think I now have a pretty clear overall picture of the tensions that were going round the theatre, apart from those normally associated with the first night. What I need to establish now is what everyone was doing between Bennington's final exit and the time of his death. If you would go and join the others, I think the best plan would be to get the whole company on stage.
Yes, sir.
I was on stage for the entire time, Mr. Allen. There's a scene before Ben's exit between Mr. Darcy, Parry Percival, Ben, and myself. Then Darcy and Parry go off, and Ben follows them a moment later, and Adam and I finish the play.
And were you on stage too for the whole period, Mr. Poole?
I go off for a moment after Ben's exit. It's a rather macabre coincidence that in the play Ben's character commits suicide off stage. He shoots himself. When I hear the shot, I go off and return almost immediately for the last scene with Ella.
Did anyone notice Mr. Poole while he was standing there?
Well, the doors recessed. I was more or less screened.
Darcy and I went straight back to our dressing rooms.
Together?
You were slightly ahead of me, I think, Parry.
Yes, I was. Miss Tarn was in the passage and I spoke to her for a moment.
Do you remember that, Miss Tarn?
Yes, Mr. Percival stopped and spoke to me. So did Mr. Darcy.
And they went on down the passage to be followed by yourself and Mr. Bennington. And that was when Mr. Bennington spoke to you.
Yes, that's right.
And then Mr. Doré joined you?
Yes, he said my makeup needed fixing.
So that after Mr. Bennington had gone to his room, you, Mr. Percival, were in your dressing room, which is next door to his. Mr. Darcy was in the dressing room, which is on the far side of Mr. Percival's, and Miss Tarn was in her own dressing room?
Actually, it's my dressing room, Inspector.
In Miss Gainsford's dressing room. How long were you all there?
I briefly adjusted this infant's makeup and returned with her to the stage.
I think that Mr. Percival and Mr. Darcy left their dressing rooms and went back to the stage for the curtain call before we did. I heard them going up the passage together.
And where were you, Dr. Rutherford?
Confined to my box, suffering the torments of the damned at what they were doing to my play.
And you, Miss Gainsford?
I was in the green room. All the time. Have you got a cigarette, J.G.? I must have left mine somewhere.
Oh, yes, of course, dear. You're quite certain that you didn't leave the green room at any time?
I don't know. I don't remember.
My dear Gay, I don't suppose the inspector imagines that you went into Ben's room, knocked him senseless with a straight left to the jaw, and turned the gas on.
It would be interesting, Mr. Poole, to hear how you know about the straight left to the jaw.
I merely guessed. If Ben was killed, and I still don't believe that he was, it seems the only way in which the murder could be brought about.
And what about you, Mr. Darcy?
What?
Do you share Mr. Poole's views on the straight-left theory?
Oh, I believe with the others that Ben's death was suicide.
And we still don't know whether Miss Gainsford left the green room.
Oh, for goodness sake! This is too tiresome. You looked in at the green room door when we were going up for the curtain call, didn't you, J.G.?
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, silly of me to forget. Gay was sound asleep in the armchair, yes.
And do you have any idea when you dropped off, Miss Gainsford? Was it before the beginning of the last act?
No, because J.G. came in to see how I was in the second interval. Didn't you, darling?
Yes, my dear.
Did anyone besides Mr. Darcy go into the green room during the second interval?
No.
But, my dear chap, surely you're wrong there. Ben went into the green room during the second interval.
Did he? Ah, yes. Perhaps he did. It quite slipped my mind.
Why on earth are you being so mysterious about it, J.G.?
Well, perhaps the reason is in your left trouser pocket, Mr. Darcy.
May I speak to you privately, Inspector?
Of course, Mr. Darcy. We can go into Mr. Poole's office. The rest of you can relax for a few minutes.
I did my best to cover up the grazes on my knuckles with grease paint, but obviously I didn't succeed. I suppose I behaved very stupidly. But it has nothing to do with Ben's death.
I think you'd better tell me exactly what happened.
I can give it to you in a sentence. I hit Ben on the jaw in the green room during the second interval. I didn't knock him out, but he was so astonished he took himself off.
What sort of condition was he in?
Oh, damned unpleasant. Ugly drunk. He'd behaved atrociously throughout the first and second acts.
In what way?
Well, as only a clever actor with too much drink inside him can behave, playing for cheap laughs.
And was it because of his performance that you hit him?
No, it wasn't. It was because of Gay. He was damned offensive.
Well, you'll have to tell us about it, I'm afraid.
I was giving Gay a couple of aspirin. She was terribly upset. Well, she's a frail little thing, you know, all heart and sensitivity, and between them, Ben and Rutherford had brought her to the edge of breakdown. Miss Tarn's arrival was the last straw, and in the end, she couldn't go on. And tonight, Gay heard everybody raving about the girl's performance in the second act, and as they came off, I'm fond of Gay, and she just fell into my arms, sobbing her heart out. And then Ben came in and...
Go on, Mr. Darcy.
Well, he went for her. He was crazy. I tried to shut him up, but he was quite off his head and began saying the most filthy things about Helena.
About his wife?
Well, about her and Adam. He used the sort of words that Othello and Leontes use, if you remember your Shakespeare.
I remember.
Well, he was talking pretty wildly, but I think... Well, this afternoon, while they were at home, he tried... He had tried to rape her.
I see. And so you hit him?
Only when he started to say the same kind of filthy stuff about Gay and me.
Thank you, Mr. Darcy. I don't think I need bother you any more for the moment.
Can I take that poor child home?
I'm sorry, not yet. Not just yet.
It might account for Bennington doing himself in.
Being hit on the jaw?
Well, not exactly, but it might have sobered him up a bit. All that business with Helena Hamilton. I imagine they stopped living as husband and wife some time ago.
Self-disgust, you mean? Yes, it's quite possible, but there's one fact I can't get over.
And what's that, sir?
If a man's going to commit suicide, he doesn't carefully and heavily powder his unbecoming makeup as if he meant to go on and take his curtain call with the rest of the cast. Now, does he? Come in.
I'm sorry to trouble you, Inspector, but I've remembered something. It's probably nothing, but...
Come in, Miss Tarn. So... what's it all about?
It was on that first morning when Miss Hamilton sent me round to Mr. Bennington to ask for her cigarette case. When he was going through the pockets of his jacket, an envelope dropped to the floor.
Oh, we mustn't lose that one, must we? There's someone who'd give a hell of a lot for that. One hell of a lot. Take a look at it.
And did you see what it said?
Yes, I did. It was addressed to Mr. Bennington and had a foreign stamp on it. The name of the sender was written on the back.
Do you remember it?
It was Otto Brod, and the address was a theatre in Prague. At least I think so.
And what was in the envelope?
Nothing very much. A single sheet of paper, I should think.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Tarn. I think you may have given us something very important.
Do I still have to stay?
I'm afraid so, along with everybody else.
Of course.
We shall be calling in some of the others shortly.
Do you really think it's important, sir?
Hard to tell, Brer Fox, but it does put things in a rather different light. I think we might try dropping the name Otto Brod into the conversation and seeing what kind of a reaction we get. Why don't we have a word with Helena Hamilton for a start?
Otto Brod? Yes. He's a Czech or an Austrian, a bit of an intellectual. We met him 3 years ago when we were doing a continental tour. He had written a play, and he asked my husband to read it. It was in German, and Ben's German wasn't really up to it. The idea was that Ben should get someone over here to take a look at it. But he was dreadfully bad at keeping those sorts of promises, and I don't think he ever did anything.
Have they kept in touch, do you know?
Oddly enough, Ben said a few days ago that he'd heard from Otto. If you want to see the letter, it'll be in his jacket. He was rather odd about it.
In what way?
He held the letter out to me and said, "That's my trump card."
Did you get the impression that he meant that it was a trump card he could use against anybody in particular?
Yes, I did. It seemed to me that it was myself he meant, or Adam, or both of us. But we've both got alibis, haven't we, if it was murder?
Oh, you have, certainly. You didn't come down to the theatre this evening with your husband?
No. He was ready before I was. And in any case...
Well, I think I must tell you that I know something of what happened at your home this afternoon.
But how can you possibly know that?
Well, your husband didn't exactly keep it a secret.
It was a kind of revenge, I suppose. I was in my bedroom trying to relax before opening night.
Hello, Ella. How comfy you look.
What is it, Ben? I'm resting.
I thought you might be interested to know. There'll be no more nonsense from Rutherford about Gay.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, I got him to see reason. And another thing. Do you both imagine I can't see through this dresser-cum-understudy racket? When was it? On the New Zealand tour of 1930?
Ben, this is nonsense.
Is it? You've cast me for the part of the cuckold in your restoration comedy. Well, just for once, I'm going to play the lover.
It was degrading. Disgusting. That's why I'm certain that Ben killed himself. It was a final act of despair. He'd got nothing to live for. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Otto Broad? I think he was very fond of Ella for a time. An affair as brief as summer lightning floated out of some midsummer notion of Vienna and Strauss waltzes. Why bring him into it?
Well, when Bennington came into the theatre this evening, he had a letter from Otto Broad in his pocket.
Why shouldn't he?
The letter is nowhere to be found.
Oh, my dear chap, he probably chucked it out or burnt it or something.
I hardly think so. He told Miss Hamilton it was his trump card.
Now, what did he mean by that, I wonder?
Does anybody else in the company have any acquaintance with Otto Broad?
I should hardly think so. It was too long ago. No, wait a minute. I think Jacko may know something about him. Why didn't you ask him?
I have heard of him.
Did you know him?
I've never met him. Never.
Perhaps you've seen some of his work. Would I be right, Monsieur Doré, in supposing that you speak German?
Yes, you would.
Oh, then I think you may be in a position to tell me why Bennington regarded a letter that he had just received from Otto Broad as his trump card.
You have been very clever, Inspector. Very clever.
I think you'd better tell me all that you know, Mr. Doré.
They're all on stage, sir, as ordered.
Do you think I'm taking a rather risky line?
Well, sir, it's a very unusual sort of procedure.
It's a very unusual case. Come on, old trooper, let's get it over with.
Right you are, Chief.
I have to tell you all that there is no doubt that your fellow player was murdered. There is conclusive evidence to prove this, which I'm going to put before you. One of the last acts of the deceased was to powder his face, and yet after his death, there was no used pad of cotton wool anywhere in the dressing room. There is, on the other hand, a fresh stain near the gas fire, which may, on analysis, turn out to show that such a pad had been burned on the hearth.
Well, this is hardly very conclusive.
What is conclusive, Mr. Darcy, is that there was a box of face powder overturned after Bennington's death. It was over the coat which had been used to cover his head, and it was over his fingerprints on top of the gas fire. The powder could only have been scattered after and not before Bennington's death.
So where exactly is all this leading, Inspector?
It is leading to a question, Mr. Percival. How is it possible to get Bennington down on the floor, disengage the tube from the gas fire, put the rubber end in his mouth, turn on the gas, and cover him with his own overcoat?
He was probably dead drunk.
Well, he was not too drunk to make up his own face. It seems more likely that he was drugged. Now, how the drug was administered, I cannot say with certainty. It may have been in the brandy, but we shall, of course, be having a chemical analysis made of everything he used. His cigarettes, his makeup, and even the grease paint on his face.
Death by grease paint. How richly Jacobean.
Well, following this line of thought, it seems clear that 2 visits would have had to be made to Bennington's dressing room. The first, to plant the drug during his scene on stage with Miss Hamilton in the last act, and the second, after he had come off and before the smell of gas was noticed by Mr. Percival.
But why should any of us want to kill him?
Well, you all, I think, had a reason to dislike this man.
Yes, but there's a world of difference between...
In one of you, the cause was linked to that particular kink which distinguishes murderers from the rest of mankind. With such beings, there's usually some explosive agency which, if it's touched off, sets them going as murder machines. In this case, I believe the fuse to have been a letter written by Otto Broad to Mr. Bennington. The letter has disappeared and was probably burnt in his dressing room, as the powder pad may have been burnt, by his murderer.
But what can Otto possibly have had to do with anything?
As for opportunity, if there were 2 visits to Bennington's dressing room during the last act, I think that all of you, except Miss Hamilton, could have made the first one. But for the second, we have a more restricted field. I think we can probably put Miss Tarn out of the picture.
That must be quite a change for you, darling.
As for Miss Gainsford, she was in the green room throughout the whole period and tells us that she was asleep. There is no witness to this.
Oh, George!
It's all right, my dear. We know it couldn't have been you.
Mr. Darcy and Mr. Percival are also on the list of persons without alibis during the crucial second period they were alone in their dressing rooms. Dr. Rutherford could certainly have visited Bennington's room during this period, as at any time during the performance, by coming down from his box and crossing the stage behind the scenery. Mr. Poole could not, in my opinion, have effected what had to be done during his very brief period off stage.
Thank you, Inspector.
Mr. Doré is in a somewhat different category. After he had escorted Miss Tarn back to the wings, everyone's attention was riveted on the stage, and he could have been almost anywhere.
As befits my role as Jacques of all trades.
That is all I have to say. I'm going to ask you all to return to your dressing rooms and collect your things. I would also be obliged if you would call in on your way out and leave me a note of your addresses and telephone numbers. That will be all. If any of you wish to have a word, I shall be in Mr. Poole's office.
So, Mr. Parry Percival has checked out and gone home, and Mr. Darcy and his little friend, Miss Gainsford, and Miss Tarn has gone off to dream of stardom, and Miss Hamilton has gone home in a taxi. So what do you reckon now, Mr. Allen? A confession? An attempt to escape?
Oh, there'll be no escape. The place is surrounded. Well, if I've bungled it, at least I've done it in a big way. Come in.
Inspector, if there is to be an arrest involving a member of my company, I'd rather be present.
Of course, Mr. Poole, I fully understand, but I think that perhaps you'd...
Inspector, I think you'd better come at once. It's Dr. Rutherford. He's still sitting where he was on the stage, in the dark. He says he wants to talk to you. I've an idea he's taken something.
Get an ambulance here, Brer Fox. Quick as you can.
Yes, sir.
Don't waste your time, Inspector. No use sending for ambulances and doctors. If I've calculated correctly, I've just left myself time to confirm what I suspect that Inspector Allen has already found out for himself.
It was Otto Broad's play that the audience applauded tonight, wasn't it?
Not such a bad little effort in its way. But I improved it beyond all recognition. It would have been nothing without me.
But Ben did recognize it.
Otto Broad gave him the play for his opinion. But old Ben's German wasn't up to much, and so Jacko and I had a read of it.
But Ben understood enough German to realize that your new play was the one that Otto Broad had given him.
Yes. Jacko recognized it too, of course. But he had the decency to keep his mouth shut. Ben wasn't so charitable and rode off to Otto Broad to get his suspicions confirmed.
And I suppose Ben attempted a little blackmail?
He said that if I didn't stop insisting that the wretched Gainsford wench be sacked, he would publish Broad's letter. I had no alternative but to give way. But when the stupid girl had her breakdown after Jacko quoted from the Scottish play, Miss Tarn went on anyway.
And so Ben decided to go ahead, despite it all?
5 minutes before the performance began, Ben informed me that at the final curtain he intended to advance to the footlights and tell the audience I'd pinched the play. Knowing that Ben meant business, I slipped into his dressing room and loaded his powder pad with a handy little poison called bethadine. And he got about 2 grams of it on his sweaty upper lip when he powdered himself after his exit.
Yes, I suspected something of the sort the moment I realized the pad was missing.
Bethadine works very fast, as I can confirm from present experience. I've taken a considerable dose of it myself. When I returned before the curtain call, Ben was already comatose, and I doubt whether the gas would have been necessary. But I went ahead with it anyway.
Because of the other death by gas poisoning, and to suggest suicide.
It might have worked, with a shade more attention to detail on my part. But I was always a little slapdash.
The ambulance has arrived, Inspector.
Let it alone. I'm already on the edge of the viewless winds. I knew it would come too late.
Opening night and last night on the same evening.
It may have given Rutherford a certain grim satisfaction.
Oh, poor old Rutherford. It all seems such a tremendous waste. And all for a little harmless plagiarism, which he couldn't bear to see exposed.
You'll be looking for a new play, I suppose.
And a new theatre, I shouldn't wonder. Tonight has thoroughly confirmed the jinx on this place.
At least you one consolation, Mr. Poole.
I can't see any, Inspector.
You've discovered a long-lost relative. And when you're looking for a bright young actress to play your next juvenile lead, at least you won't have far to go.
J.G. Darcy, Paul Gregory, Parry Percival, Tom George, Clem Smith, Christopher Kellum. Opening night was dramatised for radio by Michael Bakewell and directed by Enid Williams.
When in Rome by Ngaio Marsh. First broadcast on BBC Radio 4 in 2003. Dramatised by Michael Bakewell and produced and directed by Enid Williams.
Are you looking for something a little different? Something off the beaten track? Why not try Il Cicerone? Personally conducted excursions, sophisticated visits to some of the least publicised and most fascinating places in the Eternal City, under the learned and highly individual guidance of Sebastian Mailer. Dinner at a most exclusive restaurant, and further less conventional expeditions by arrangement. All tastes catered for, with a little gentle blackmail to follow.
We present Jeremy Clyde as Chief Detective Inspector Alleyn in When in Rome by Ngaio Marsh.
You better, Bathgate. I'd suspect you were following me about, in the hope of an exclusive for your wretched rag. What the devil are you doing in Rome? Now, something tells me you're not just here on holiday.
I'm supposed to be covering the student riots. We were told they were going to make what happened in Paris look like a meeting of the parish council, but so far I haven't even seen a defaced poster. And what are you doing in Rome? I can see from the casual attire that you're supposed to be on holiday, but I have a shrewd suspicion that you're not.
Your shrewdness does you credit. But I don't know that I can tell you very much. Officially, everything's in the hands of the Rome police force.
You couldn't manage to drop a small hint?
Oh, I can do more than that. Traffic in illegal substances.
Heroin, cocaine?
Of course, we can't hope to catch the really big boys.
Yes. I'd heard that Otto Siegfeld is holed up in some phony castle in the Lebanon.
You're obviously keeping yourself pretty well informed.
But please, go on.
Well, there's a chap here in Rome who may well be a key operator. Unfortunately, from my point of view, he happens to be a British subject. He's a man called Sebastian Mailer.
The sightseeing chap? The one who runs an outfit called Il Ciccerone?
The very same, yes.
I noticed a card of his in my hotel. It all sounded rather intriguing.
That's just what I thought. Anyway, I've signed on for one of his little tours tomorrow. They're devilishly expensive.
He must cater for a very exclusive clientele.
Well, I've got the list here. Take a look at it.
Baron and Baroness van der Wegel. That rings a bell. Dutch, I think, and something to do with a firm of fanatical religious publishers. Major Hamilton's suite. Never heard of him. Miss Sophie Jason. Ditto. Ah. The Honourable Kenneth Dorn and his aunt, Lady Braceley. How very chic.
You know her, then?
Who doesn't?
This Mailer person, is he the one who came to your rescue when you got in that awful mess in Perugia?
Yes, Auntie. He practically saved my life.
I do wish you wouldn't call me Auntie. It's so... What's he like?
Oh, he's very clever, and he has contacts in all the right places.
And these less conventional expeditions he mentions, I trust they will be deliciously outrageous.
Oh, yes, beyond your wildest dreams. All sorts of gorgeous gents. And you can smoke as much as you please.
Smoke?
Oh, there's no need for the awestruck tone, sweetie. Do you mean to say you've never done it?
Never.
And I thought you'd tried everything. Do you want to give it a go?
It's not habit-forming, is it, Kenneth?
Of course it isn't. You don't get hooked. Not on pot. It'll cost a bit, of course, but that's not a problem with you, is it, darling?
Look in my bag. I don't know how much I've got.
There doesn't seem to be much here.
Isn't there? They'll cash a cheque downstairs. I'll write one.
Make it pretty generous. I need some cash in hand. It's fabulous having my rich auntie to take care of me.
I don't imagine the intellectual side of the tour will have much appeal for her.
Ah, but that's the most curious aspect of the whole enterprise. According to the brochure, the tour is under the distinguished patronage of the celebrated writer, Mr. Barnaby Grant, who has graciously consented to accompany the expedition.
Barnaby Grant? The chap who wrote Simon in Latium?
I imagine so.
But it was top of the bestseller list for weeks. Why has Barnaby Grant got himself mixed up with a murky operator like Mailer?
That's what I hope to find out.
I suppose you can't get me onto the tour. I'm sure my paper would fork out.
It's fully booked, I'm afraid. I was lucky to get a cancellation. But why don't we have a drink together before the tour sets out tomorrow afternoon? And then you can take a look at them all. We're meeting at the square by Trinita del...
2 Lanciers. Mailer certainly does things in style. And that's Barnaby Grant getting out of the second car.
And the man in the black alpaca suit, who looks rather like a priest, must be Mailer.
Grant looks pretty grim and rather embarrassed.
And that pretty girl with the Titian hair can only be Sophie Jason. Well, she looks as if Rome has rather gone to her head.
Ah, Miss Jason, allow me to introduce our guest of honour, Mr. Barnaby Grant.
Oh, we've met before, actually, at the launch party for Simon. I work for Costa Publishing.
Oh, really?
Well, that was a bit brusque. The poor girl's gone quite red.
Ah, Baron, Baroness. How very nice to see you again.
Yeah, we are looking forward to our descent into antiquity.
Down the archaeological rabbit hole.
So, the sturdy couple in matching shady hats and sunglasses must be the Wegels. What enormous hands and feet they've got.
It's time for me to join the party. I don't want to make myself conspicuous by arriving late. I'll ring you from the hotel.
Ah, you must be Mr. Allen. So glad you could join us. May I introduce the Baron and Baroness Wegel?
Well, how do you do?
We are very pleased to meet you.
We descend the rabbit hole together, yes?
And this is Miss Sophie Jason.
Hello.
How do you do?
And our guest of honour, Mr. Barnaby Grant.
How do you do? Do you know Rome well?
Well, virtually not at all. I've never been here for more than 3 or 4 days at a time. I'm not a systematic sightseer.
No?
Are we by any chance going to visit some of the scenes in your book? That would be a wonderful idea.
There's some idea of it. Mailer will explain, excuse me.
Of course. Is this your first visit to Rome, Miss Jason?
Yes, it is. I came here with a friend, but her father died the day we arrived and she had to fly home. I've been messing about on my own ever since. This tour looked rather intriguing, particularly since Barnaby Grant was attached to it.
He doesn't seem very enthusiastic. He virtually edged me off a moment ago.
Oh, nothing to what he did to me. I work for his publishers. I write books for children. My editor introduced me to him at the launch party for Simon in Latium. I was silly enough to remind him just now, and he took the news like a dose of poison.
Very odd.
But aren't we rather slow getting going? Mr. Mader's looking at his watch.
But Lady Braceley and her nephew are coming now.
Oh, she hasn't worn very well, has she? I thought she was supposed to be the darling of the jet set. She looks positively decrepit.
Lady Braceley, may I present our guest of honour, Mr. Barnaby Grant.
Do you know, Mr. Grant, you're the sole reason for my coming to this party. Normally, teams of wild horses wouldn't drag me out sightseeing at this ghastly hour. You're my sight.
I don't know how I meant to answer that, except that I'm sure you'll find the Church of San Tommaso in Palladio much more rewarding.
Is that where we're going? Is it a ruin?
My aunt has a particular aversion to ruins.
It's not exactly that. You see...
It is an architectural palimpsest.
It is the spiritual heart of Mr. Grant's novel.
Really? I adored it, of course, though I haven't a clue what it's about. But shouldn't we be moving on? Such a bore having to hang about.
Yes, I think we could make a start. Perhaps I should just outline our programme. We shall drive around the Colosseum and the Forum and then visit the Basilica of San Tommaso, which, as you all know, was the setting for the central scene of Mr. Grant's Simon in Latium.
Wonderfully moving. Such depth of spirit.
And I have prevailed upon our distinguished author to say a few words about the way the Basilica figures in his book.
Bravo, bravo.
The afternoon will end with a picnic on the Palatine Hill. Then you will be driven to your hotels to change for dinner, and our cars will call for you at 9 o'clock. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
But what's happened to Major Sweet?
The Major will join us at the Basilica. And now, if we are ready, let us go.
You're late. You're nearly 30 minutes late.
Unfortunately,
It
Major,
was all my fault, Major. I kept everyone waiting. I dare say you might call it a woman's privilege.
I think we should go inside the Basilica straight away.
Cartoline, postcards.
Pay no attention, ladies and gentlemen. There are far better postcards on sale inside.
Ladro brutto.
Pay no attention to her.
Infame, infame.
In we go. Follow me, ladies and gentlemen.
Kenneth, darling, honestly, hardly one's idea of a gay little outing.
Like something out of Trovatore.
Was she put in as an extra touch of atmosphere, Mr. Grant?
I don't know anything about her. Mad, I should think.
But if you translated all that into Anglo-Saxon terms, it would probably amount to no more than a cool glance and the shrug of a shoulder.
Oh, rather. You have to allow for their sense of drama. But I know who you are now. I didn't realise. We met at the launch party at Costa's, didn't we?
Yes, that's right.
The Basilica of San Tommaso is a unique experience, an opportunity to travel down the centuries into ancient Rome. At the top level, where we are now standing, is the church of the 12th century. We shall then pass through the ticket barrier and descend to the 3rd century church, which the Basilica replaced. And below that, just imagine. There has lain sleeping for over 1,800 years a house of the Flavian period, with its own private temple dedicated to the god Mithras.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, my God, that's my cue. God, how I hate this.
Oh, then why do it?
Oh, you needn't be so snappish.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's none of my business.
No, not at all.
But I will say no more. I shall hand you over to my distinguished colleague, Mr. Barnaby Grant.
Oh, excellent. And are we not standing in the very place where your characters assembled?
And might we not follow in their footsteps?
Well, I imagine if you've read the book, you can sort it out pretty easily for yourselves. But while we're in this part of the Basilica, I'll show you one thing that might interest you. If you could come over to this railed enclosure.
Oh, yes, of course. Don't you remember, darling?
Just listen now.
The Cloaca Maxima, great sewer of ancient Rome.
A pure stream leading into it, more than 60 feet below us. If you lean over the rail, you'll see there's an equivalent opening in the floor of the original choir immediately below us. And yet another 30 feet below that, you can't see it without a torch, there's a third opening, and far below that, the stream. You may remember in my book that Simon dropped a pebble from here and it fell down the centuries into the hidden water.
Yeah, and on that image the whole book was based.
Exploring the deepest reaches of Simon's being. Oh, how exciting this is!
I'm looking down through the centuries. Boom! Boom! Oh, God. It makes me feel sick. What a revolting place.
Well, we'll go on down to the lower region, shall we? Follow me.
Oh, be very careful, my darling. Take care that you do not slip.
If we could just pause here for a moment. Later on, some of you may wish to explore this place for yourselves.
God forbid.
You can't really get lost. Sooner or later, you will end up at this point, and as you can see, there's a map. But before we descend further, let me draw your attention to the terracotta sculpture on the opposite wall. Yes, it's thought to be of Apollo, Etruscan, of course.
Maybe take a photograph.
Naturally. And now we descend into the ancient church.
Too much care for this. It's very stuffy in here.
There are plenty of vents. The air seems quite fresh.
But it doesn't to me. I'm not enjoying this at all, Major. I don't think I...
What on earth are you on about, Auntie? It's just a statue.
Out!
What's the matter?
Oh, it's the Major. He keeps pinching my bottom.
What was that?
Just a photograph, dear lady.
Oh, it's too much. It's really too much.
And here is the railing of the well again, directly under the one above.
Gerrit, look down there. Do you see? The sarcophagus where Simon sat and meditated.
Oh, do be careful, Matilde. Do not lean over too far, my darling.
Look, there's that woman.
What woman?
The postcard seller. I saw her shadow pass across the sarcophagus.
Are you sure?
Yes. It was as if she was trying to find somewhere to hide.
Violetta is not permitted to enter the basilica. It must have been the shadow of someone in another party. But now let us descend into the Temple of Mithras. There is an iron spiral stairway just here.
It's no good. I'm afraid you'll think it frightfully silly of me, but I can't stay in this awful place another minute. You must take me back, Kenneth. Kenneth! Kenneth! Where are you, Kenneth?
It's perfectly all right, Lady Bracely. He went back to photograph the Apollo. I'll go and find him for you. It'll only take a minute or two.
No, I can't stay down here another second. Major Sweet, please take me away, please.
Well, of course, dear lady, if you insist.
Just get me out of here.
There's a continuation of this stairway that goes straight back up to the basilica. If you take Lady Bracely up that way, I'll go and find Mr. Dorn and send him to her.
Right, shall we go, then?
Thank you, Major.
Will you carry on, Mr. Grant?
Very well.
I'll only be a few minutes.
Right then, if you'll follow me down. We are now in what would have been a Roman family home, built sometime in the 1st century AD. And over here we have their private temple, the Mithraeum.
It's more like a private cave with benches for the family.
I'm sure you all know about the Mithraic cult, so there's no need for me to...
Oh, but please. We would so much like to hear you speak of it.
Only if he wants to.
Oh, the god Mithras was born...
Forgive me, but my husband must not miss this. Gerrit!
What is it, my love?
Mr. Grant is about to tell us the story of Mithras.
Oh, I come at once.
The god Mithras was born of a rock. He was worshipped in many parts of the ancient world, including England, and was, above all, a god of light. Hence his association with Apollo, who commanded him to kill the bull, which is the symbol of fertility. You can see him in the act of killing the bull on the carved altar there.
It's such a pity that the others are missing all this.
The curse of humanity.
What is, Major?
Religion, not a ballyhoo.
How is Lady Bracely?
I put her in the, the courtyard up top.
The atrium.
Whatever it is. She didn't like it much, being left on her own.
Was there any sign of young Dawn?
See, a frightful specimen.
And Mela?
No sign of him either. Damn casual treatment, I call it. What do we do now?
I understood it was thought you might like to look around the place under your own steam. But here is Mr. Dawn.
Hello. Oh, what have you done with my aunt?
She felt faint. I escorted her up to the garden. Hadn't you better take a look at her?
May she flourish like the green bay tree.
Words fail me.
Thank God for that.
Would the author be so kind as to read us the passage in the book where Simon finds in himself some equivalent to the Mithraic power.
Yeah. We have our copy with us.
Oh, my God.
We understand, of course, the famous Anglo-Saxon reticence.
Yeah, but after all, the brochure encouraged us to believe
Hadn't you better?
Well, if you really want me to, of course. It's only that I feel such an ass.
Wonderful! But first, we must have a photograph. Mr. Grant will stand in the center reading to us, with the altar of Mithras in the background. If you would stand beside him, Mr. Allen, and Miss Jason on the other side. And you behind her, Major.
Right-ho.
And you behind Mr. Allen, Mr. Dawn. And you get it, my darling, behind the others, because you are so large. Now, all look at the open page.
But we can't really see it in the dark.
Does not matter. We must all concentrate on the book. All on the book. Get it? You must step back a little. Now freeze, please. I shoot. Oh, Gerrit, what did I tell you? They are useless, the bulbs that we bought at that place. But I have another. Nobody must move. It is in my pocket. What are you doing, Mr. Dawn?
Just taking a photo of Mithras.
What was that?
It sounded like someone shutting a heavy door.
Now, please, attention. I shoot again. And again, please. And now for the reading. I have my little torch. I will shine it on the page for you, Mr. Grant.
Oh, thanks. Nothing had changed. In the presence of the statue of Mithras, Simon's ears heaved with the soundless roar of the sacrificial bull. His throat and the back of his nose were stung by blood that 19 centuries ago had boiled over white-hot stone.
We are so grateful, Mr. Grant. It was all we had hoped for.
I think I'll go and take a look at Auntie.
I'm going to find that fellow Mailer. We've a bone to pick with him.
Why don't we all meet up in the atrium? They'll be closing the place in about 10 minutes' time.
It's very odd. Where can Mr. Mailer have got to?
I thought he went off to find young Dawn.
Well, he didn't. I haven't set eyes on him.
And he didn't join you, Lady Braceley, in the atrium?
He didn't join me in the atrium. I wonder where else. I don't know why, but that sounds vaguely improper.
A damn poor show, leaving us high and dry. Look here, Grant, you're on the strength, aren't you?
Absolutely not. I've nothing to do with him.
Well, so what should we do? We can't hang around here indefinitely.
The best thing would be to carry on as planned and go off to the picnic on the Palatine Hill. The drivers will take you there, and the one called Giovanni speaks quite good English. And in the meantime, I'll go and have a word with the people who run this place.
Look, why don't I do that? You get the rest of the party over to the picnic, and I'll try to find out what's become of Mailer.
Are you sure?
Oh, perfectly sure. I'll join you at the Palatine Hill. What's the name of the person in charge here?
The place is in the care of a group of Irish Dominicans. Father Dennis is the man to talk to. He'll help if anyone can.
Well, your man's not below, that's for sure. We had the full power of the lighting on. That's enough to dazzle the eyes out of your head. He must have slipped out while no one was looking.
Oh, that woman who sells the postcards, she might have noticed him. Is she still here?
Oh, Violetta, do you mean? I haven't seen her since you all went down into the depths. Oh, terrible pest, that one. Touched in her wits, poor creature.
She seems to rather have it in for Mr. Mailer.
She's been in a terrible state since he first came here to discuss arrangements for his sightseeing trips. The poor soul has got it into her head that he's her husband or something of the sort. Says he deserted her and betrayed her to the police.
For doing what?
Oh, she never lets on exactly. Something to do with passing prohibited articles. She's very wild, and the saints themselves wouldn't know which was fact and which was fantasy. Little wonder your man has gone to ground.
He's done a bunk. He must have recognized you.
That's what the police think. I was on the phone to them first thing this morning, and they gave some very curious information about this Violetta woman. She and Mailer had some kind of racket going on in Sicily 3 years ago, and then he dumped her. And Palermo, of course, is a port of transit for the heroin smuggling trade.
And you reckon that Mailer's mixed up in it all?
Obviously. But what I can't fathom is the purpose of these little tours of his. He's clearly up to something, but what?
Was the evening all the brochure promised? An exclusive restaurant and less conventional entertainment to follow?
Oh, yes. The restaurant was exclusive, all right. It was La Gioconda.
Good God! That must have cost you a packet. It's the most expensive place in Rome.
Well, that's what makes it even more mystifying. We were told it was all included in the cost of the tour. We paid for nothing. Mailer's oily little assistant, Giovanni Vecchi, saw to everything. The Major was pouring drink down his throat like there was no tomorrow.
Well, I must say, this is quite an order. Here's to Il Cicerone.
Nobody seemed to be missing Mailer very much, although the manager of the Gioconda did turn a very unhealthy-looking colour when I told him he had vanished without trace.
But that wasn't the end of your evening, I take it?
Now we are gay. Now we dance, and all is hip and nightlife. To the Cosmo, is it not?
An abominably noisy place. Lavish floor show, bottles of champagne plonked down on all the tables.
And all on Mailer's Il Cicerone?
Everything. Lady Braceley was in her element. She's very persona grata with the management.
Here I am, high as a kite and ready for anything. Bring on the dancing girls.
All things considered, she danced with considerable expertise.
And did you take to the floor yourself?
Oh, yes, with the Baroness. She was remarkably forthcoming on the subject of her marriage.
In all things we are in absolute accord. We are sure of ourselves. Always we are happy together and agreeing in our views. Like twins, is it not?
And then, after we returned to our tables, Giovanni Vecchi approached us all one by one and asked very discreetly whether we wished to go on a further expedition that Mailer had arranged to extend our knowledge of Roman nightlife, but that we would have to pay a little extra for the privilege. Well, Lady Braceley was all for it, and so was the Major.
Better be good. Mind you, I've seen some curious things in my time. All adds up to experience. Not a word to the ladies. What they can't grieve about, they won't see.
And Kenneth Dorn was working himself up into a frightful lather of expectancy. I fear he rather fancies me.
You're simply fabulous, you know, but let's face it, sweetheart, you're a bit of a square.
I was rather hoping that Mailer might have been able to change all that.
Don't you worry about anything. Tony's pad, the place where we're going, is simply out of this world. Grass, hard stuff, whatever takes your fancy. There'll be a perfectly psychedelic freak-out.
And was there?
And was there what?
A freak-out.
Well, there was a disgusting performance by some people who called themselves the Kinky Kicks, which I can only describe as infamous.
I can imagine.
I sincerely hope that you cannot. Now, while it was going on, I went to have a quiet word with the doorman, gave a very decent impression of desperate withdrawal symptoms, and told him that I'd counted on meeting Mr. Mailer.
That was a bit chancy, wasn't it? What did he come up with?
A sealed package wrapped in glossy blue paper from Senior Mailer's special supply, he said.
Heroin?
And cocaine, at 30% more than British black market prices.
Just as well you're being funded by the Yard. And did all the rest of your party go on to Tony's pad?
Well, the Vagels didn't.
My husband thinks it would not suit us to go. He did not very much care for the style of the suggestion. It is more for the men, he said. So I tease him and say he's a big square, and I am not so unsophisticated. But he remains firm, so we return to our hotel.
And Grant and Sophie Jason left the Cosmo quite early. They'd been getting on together at a distinctly alarming rate, gazing into one another's eyes, dancing, admittedly not very well. I only hope Grant isn't a predatory animal. And they discovered they were staying at the same pensione, a place with a very romantic roof garden.
There's something I have to tell you.
Yes?
About how I came to be mixed up in this Il Cicerone business.
I was wondering when you were going to get round to that.
It happened last year. I was sitting at a curbside table in the Piazza Colonna. There was a storm coming on.
And?
There were a couple of lovers at the next table and three rather heavy types on the other side of me. And coming towards me across the piazza, I noticed this Englishman. I don't know how I was so sure he was English. His clothes, probably.
And this was Mailer?
Don't anticipate. Suddenly, there was a gigantic clap of thunder and a very thoroughgoing cloudburst. Everyone started to run for cover. The lovers collided with the heavy types and there was a bit of a fracas. And then somebody slammed into my back and knocked me over the table. I picked myself up and realized that my briefcase was gone.
And there was something valuable in it.
Simon.
Simon? You lost Simon?
Yes, the second draft and my only copy. I went to the consulate, but they couldn't help much. I put advertisements in the papers offering a reward.
But obviously you got it back.
Yes. Mailer brought it to the cafe where I'd lost it.
How did he get hold of it?
I need to go back a bit. You're too young to remember when my first book came out.
Aquarius. I was about 14. I thought it was marvellous.
Yeah. But afterwards, when you came to work for Costa Publishing, you must have heard about the scandal.
Yes, I heard about the coincidence bit.
Coincidence? Did you really believe that I could have repeated in exact detail the central theme of a book I'd never read?
Certainly. Everybody at Costa said it was just an accident.
It wasn't the opinion of 12 good men and true.
What's all this got to do with Mailer?
Well, as I said, he turned up at the cafe 3 days later and he produced the briefcase from underneath his jacket.
Mr. Barnaby Grant, I think you will be pleased to see me, will you not?
But how on earth had he got hold of it?
Oh, he had a perfectly plausible explanation. The fellow who'd snatched it was a well-known pickpocket. Mailer had been keeping his eye on him and he immediately gave chase.
It was a long pursuit, but in the end I caught up with him at one of his habitual haunts, and by means with which I will not trouble you, recovered your briefcase. No doubt you'll be asking yourself why 3 days have elapsed before I've brought it back to you. Perhaps you would care to inspect my arm. You see the marks? Like mosquito bites. But I am sure you recognize them for what they are. I have an addiction for cocaine. After recovering the briefcase, I felt a little shaken and exceeded my usual dose. As a result, I have been out of circulation until this morning.
What he'd actually been doing, though I didn't realize it at the time, was scribbling away at a book. He must have worked at it day and night. He asked me to read it as a kind of reward for recovering my briefcase.
Neither a novel nor a novella in length, I'm afraid, but I would be grateful for your advice as to a possible publisher. I hope my handwriting does not present undue difficulties. Perhaps in 2 days or so you might...
But I don't understand. What was the point?
One of the minor episodes of his book bore a strong resemblance to the main theme of Simon.
Oh.
I didn't think anything of it at the time. I just put it down to coincidence.
And did you mention it to him when you met again?
Oh, yes. He seemed to be quite amused.
We are told, are we not, that in literature there are only... How many is it? 3, 4 basic themes?
He took me out to a thoroughly disgusting club where I had far too much to drink. We met up with some friends of his. He'd obviously arranged for them to be there, and he told them the whole story.
Including the resemblance bit?
Oh, yes, he made a great joke of it all, and his cronies thought it was very funny. What I didn't realize at the time was that one of them was a journalist.
So he tried a spot of blackmail?
Not there and then. I went back to England. The book was published, and it was a tremendous success. 3 weeks ago, I came back here to Rome to discuss the Italian edition, and Mailer was waiting for me.
I shall come straight to the point. Always best, don't you agree?
He told me that he'd thoroughly rehashed his book so that it was blatantly like mine, and that he had witnesses from that nightclub where we'd joked about it who'd swear that I'd swiped his story. The journalist was the Rome correspondent of one of the grubbiest British scandal sheets.
But you could just have told him to go to hell.
Not with the Aquarius scandal still hanging over my head.
So what did he want?
Not very much, as it happens. He asked me to take on these unspeakable tours, to lend my name to them and do the famous author bit. This is meant to be the first of them.
Oh, he probably wouldn't have stopped there.
That's just what I'm afraid of. I hope he doesn't turn up again in a hurry, and I'm not very keen for the police to track him down. God knows what he might say.
So, where do you go from here?
Back to the Basilica. Charming though Father Dennis may be, I'm not confident of his ability to carry out a really thorough search. I've persuaded the Rome police to lay on all the necessary facilities, and the big chief is taking charge of it all in person. Il Questore Valdano.
You have already met Chief Superintendent Alleyn, I believe, Padre?
I have indeed, but he didn't let on that he was a great man in the CID.
I hope it was an innocent reservation, Father.
Well, I let you off this time. So we'd better be getting on with your wild goose chase. Was there anywhere particular you wanted to take a look, Signor Questori?
My men will search through the whole basilica, Padre, but as for particulars, you better ask the chief superintendent. Eh?
Well, I should like to go down to the railed enclosure on the second level. That's where Sophie Jason thought she caught sight of Violetta.
The people at the lodging say that Violetta did not return home last night.
She may have gone off with Mr. Mailer, of course.
It is possible. If Mailer discovered the superintendent's identity, he could have told her.
Yeah. Well, let's be away down there. We'd best get this over before the tourist parties start to arrive.
Well, this is the place. We were looking down into the well, and Miss Jason thought that she saw Violetta's shadow moving across the sarcophagus over there.
But why should she come down here?
She's not permitted inside in any case.
Well, perhaps she was planning to bring about some kind of showdown with Mailer in front of us all. I'd like to take a closer look down there and try to work out where she was making for when she threw that shadow.
Well, there are many places where she could have hidden herself away. The lid of the sarcophagus. It is not completely closed.
There's some kind of black thread trailing out of it. Would you permit us to open it, Father?
You ought to be able to slide it off. Mind you, it's a fair weight.
Poor woman. She won't be selling any more postcards. Strangled.
The situation is much more serious than I'd imagined. I will put every available man onto finding Mailer. A close watch will be kept on his apartment.
And what are you proposing to do about his happy band of pilgrims?
Sorry?
Well, the people who were on the tour when the unfortunate woman was murdered.
I think it might be best if you were to interview them yourself. You will have to explain to them who you are, of course. I do not think they will be happy to discover that they were letting down their hair last night in front of a chief superintendent from Scotland Yard, eh?
My God, I knew I'd seen you somewhere before. You're that bloody policeman that's always getting his name in the papers.
Oh, but really, how too off-putting and peculiar.
You might have told us what your job was.
Well, why? You didn't tell us what you do for a living. So, let's get down to it, shall we? What we need to establish is when each of us last saw Mailer.
Of course. A crime has been committed. It is our duty to assist.
Oh, thank you, Baron. Now, for my part, it was when we were still on the middle level, just after Major Sweet and Lady Braceley had left to go up to the atrium. Mr. Grant, Miss Jason, and the Baron and Baroness were with me, and we all went down to the Mithraic Temple together. Major Sweet and Mr. Dawn joined us there, separately, some time later. May I ask, Lady Braceley, whether you saw anything of Mailer or of Violetta after you left us?
No, of course I didn't. No.
And what about you, Major?
No, I met nobody.
Now, Mr. Dawn, according to Mailer, you had gone back to photograph the Apollo, is that right?
Certainly.
And did you photograph it?
As it happened, no. I'd run out of film.
Oh, no, you hadn't. You hadn't done any such thing. You took a photograph of Mithras while we were all poodle-faking around Grant and his book.
There's such a thing as putting in a new film, Major Sweet.
Well, yes, of course there is. Which reminds me, I'd like to take a look at all the photos that were taken in the Basilica. If you, Mr. Dawn, and you, Baron, will be so good as to hand them over to me, I will arrange for the police to develop them.
Of course.
Now, Mr. Dawn, tell me, did Mailer rejoin you while you were not photographing Apollo?
No, he didn't turn up.
You were expecting him, then?
No, I wasn't.
Well, do you recognize this piece of blue paper, Mr. Dawn?
No.
I found it behind the statue of Apollo during our search this morning, and last night I was sold a packet containing heroin and cocaine at Tony's Pad in exactly the same paper.
Look, what the hell is all this? Why are you picking on me?
I'm not going to run you in for making a mess of yourself with drugs, you silly chap. I simply want to know if, for whatever reason, you met Mailer by the statue of Apollo.
Kenneth, darling, please, you mustn't.
Auntie, do you mind? I've told him. No.
So why is he making such a fuss?
Well, my guess would be that he met up with Mailer so that he could get his fix. But there's something else going on, something that Lady Braceley is very agitated about, but I'm damned if I know what it is.
Still, there doesn't seem to be much mystery about who killed Violetta. It must have been Mailer, surely.
Everything would appear to point to that. Anyway, I've told them all they must remain in Rome for the time being. After our meeting broke up, Grant said he wanted to have a quiet word. I suspect he was rather pushed into it by Miss Jason.
And did he explain to you how he got involved in all this?
He was being blackmailed by Mailer. Not because of anything criminal, of course, but enough to put his reputation in jeopardy. And that set me thinking. If Mailer was blackmailing Grant, was he trying the same trick with any of the others? The Vagels, perhaps?
Or Major Sweet?
It's so funny you should mention him. I wanted to think the whole business through, so I took a leisurely stroll and I caught sight of Sweet in a cafe having a rather earnest conversation with Giovanni Vecchi, Mailer's second-in-command. I managed to get close enough to hear a word or two without being observed.
And?
Sweet was talking about Ziegfeld.
The drug baron.
And if the Major's got himself mixed up with Ziegfeld, he's playing a very dangerous game. I've asked the police to keep a close watch on his apartment, and I'm going to pay him a surprise visit there this evening.
Ziegfeld? Who's he? Some sort of dago, I suppose.
I think you know perfectly well who he is, Major. He imports drugs on a very large scale. He set up an agent in Naples whose job was to arrange and supervise the transshipment. And that agent was Sebastian Mailer.
I knew he was a wrong one, straight off.
It appears that at one time Mailer was married to the woman Violetta, and probably she worked for him in some minor capacity, and subsequently he deserted her.
Now you're talking. Threatened to expose him?
It's very likely.
Killed her?
Highly probable.
There you are, then.
Ziegfeld doesn't care for agents who do the dirty on him. As a general rule, he has them bumped off by another agent.
What's that got to do with me?
I overheard your conversation with Giovanni Vecchi at the Eremo Cafe this afternoon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have the advantage of you there. I do know what you and Giovanni Vecchi were talking about. Mailer had been helping himself to some of Ziegfeld's drugs in transit and setting up as a dealer on his own account.
And where am I supposed to fit into all this?
Well, you were sent to spy on Mailer and Vecchi by Ziegfeld, and to report back to him on their activities. I think that you double-crossed Ziegfeld and played along with Mailer. And now that Mailer's disappeared, you're threatening to betray Vecchi to Ziegfeld unless he pays you off in a big way. And then you're planning to clear out when the going's good. You haven't got a hope. You're in a pretty ugly situation one way and another, aren't you? The safest thing for you might be to ask the Rome police to lock you up.
What do you want?
A complete list of Ziegfeld's agents and a full account of his operation, with particular respect to Mailer.
I can't do that, Alan.
You've no choice.
May you rot in hell. All right, but get me a drink, goddamn you.
Ah, Signor Allen, there is a note for you from Lady Braceley.
Oh, thank you. Must see you. Please come to my apartment as soon as possible. If you see Kay, say nothing.
Kenneth's been so naughty and stupid, and now he's landed me in the most frightful mess.
Well, what's he done?
I can't follow it all, but apparently he got into some perfectly grisly scrape in Perugia and sold something that didn't belong to him. The Mailer person got him out of it at a cost, of course, but when we were in that ghastly church, Mailer took me to one side while the rest of you were gawping at all those statues and things and told me that the police still weren't satisfied, and unless we could butter them up with a hefty bribe, it would all come out and Kenneth would be arrested. He wanted me to sign a blank cheque and he would negotiate the whole thing.
And did you give it to him?
Not there and then. He was going to call for it at midday today, and then there was that thing about him disappearing and all that murder horror. But that Giovanni Vecchi, I used to think he was rather sweet, came here today and said the situation had got much more difficult. It might cost at least £800, and he suggested I let him have some jewellery instead.
And did you give him any?
Yes, I did. My diamond and emerald sunburst. I never really liked it, frightfully.
Lady Braceley, why are you telling me all this?
I'm out of my depth. I'm awfully fond of Kenneth, but I don't think it's fair for him to land me in such a mess. Please, Mr. Allen, please be kind and help me.
Oh, very well. When your nephew appears, tell him I want to see him. I shall be in my room for the next hour.
So, what's it all about this time? You're going to run me in for possessing dope?
I've better things to do with my time. I want to tell you something. You were lying when you said you didn't see Mailer when you went off to photograph the Apollo. You met him by arrangement to collect your supply of heroin and cocaine. And you had one other reason for seeing him.
And what's that supposed to be?
You wanted to find out if he'd been successful in blackmailing your aunt on your behalf. You were encouraging him to keep on turning the screw. You were sharing the proceeds, I presume?
No comment.
And I suspect that now you're trying to carry on the good work with the help of Giovanni Vecchi, but we'll soon put a stop to that. Now, what I want to know is where Mailer went when he left you.
He had a date with someone else.
Who?
He didn't say. It was somewhere in the church. That's all I know.
Hello?
Would that be Mr. Allen?
It would, Father.
Are you alone now?
No.
If it's not putting too much on you, I'd be greatly obliged if you'd be kind enough to look in at the basilica.
Of course. Is it...
Well, it may be, and then again it may not. To tell you the truth, I'm loath to call down a great concurrence of the police upon me, and then it turning out to be a rat. But to judge by the strength of the aroma, it's rather more than that.
I'll be with you in 15 minutes. That'll be all, Mr. Dawn. I earnestly hope we never meet again.
It's like enough a fool's errand I brought you on, and you may be not eaten yet.
Shall we have a look where the trouble seems to be?
A look? The smell, more likely. But come along, we have to go down to the 3rd level where the Mithraeum is. Mind your step now.
Well, there's no mistaking the smell. It's sickly sweet. What exactly is there down below?
The remains of a stone grill, as old as the place itself. It lies over the surface of the water, and there's only a part of it still intact.
Can one get down there? There seems to be footholes in the wall.
Oh, I wouldn't trust them. I'll get a couple of the brothers to bring a rope and a set of overalls and a headlamp. Oh, we're very well provided.
Lower me down a bit further.
A bit further it is. Are you all right?
Yes. A bit further. Hold on, I'm there. Slack off a little.
Can you see anything?
Yeah, there's a foot. It's caught in what's left of the old grill. The body's hanging over the water. The smell is simply disgusting.
Here, take a drop of this. We always keep a little something in case of emergencies.
Oh, thanks. Oh, I needed that.
Are you sure it's himself?
Yes, I could tell by the shoes, but it was just possible to see his face.
So, did someone kill both him and that poor woman, or did he kill her and then get himself killed? Either way, it's a terrible business. Would you like me to telephone the police?
I'd be very grateful if you would. I need a little time to work things.
So, what is the verdict?
There isn't one. I'm still trying to decide exactly when the deaths took place. Sophie Jason said she heard a noise like a heavy door closing while the Baroness was fiddling about taking that photograph. It's a fair bet that that was the lid of the sarcophagus going down on Violetta's body. And Mailer himself must have been killed shortly afterwards. But what the devil's that?
It's the students. Thank God, at long last they got going. I better be off. Ciao!
Pronto?
Signor Allen, I'm afraid I have bad news. Major Sweet, he's dead.
Dead?
In a street accident. I would be greatly obliged if you would come over to my office. Ah, the students, eh? What do you suppose they achieve? Now they are burning the Vespers. And it is because of the students that Major Sweet was able to get away.
How's that?
My men were keeping a close watch on his apartment, but there were others who were also keeping their eyes on him.
Oh, Ziegfeld's men?
Yeah, so he does not dare to come out. And then, in the afternoon, I telephoned him asking him to come to my office and sign a statement.
Did you tell him that Mailer's body had been found?
Oh, yes, I tell him.
And what did he say?
He says nothing. And then the students come into his street, pushing over the cars, breaking the windows of the shops. And so the Major takes his chance and slips out. One of Ziegfeld's men goes after him, but Sweet jumps into a taxi. And then a police car draws up by the side of the taxi. The major leaps out, and immediately he is run down by a car coming the other way. He did not regain consciousness.
I see.
There is no doubt in my mind that it was Major Sweet who murdered Mailer.
Are you sure of that?
I am certain. I have been questioning Mailer's assistant, Giovanni Vecchi, and he said that he saw Sweet standing on the railing of the well, looking down.
Vecchi was in the basilica?
So he says, and I have no reason to doubt his word.
Oh.
And so, my friend, the case is at an end. The happy band of pilgrims are free to depart. Oh, and the photographs you asked us to develop have come back. Would you like to see them?
Oh, very much.
Here. Tell us nothing. Light got into the roll of pictures the Baroness took at the Mithraeum. They're useless.
And the ones taken by Mr. Dawn?
Ah, yes. Some of the ones from Perugia are really quite indecent.
Oh, so they are. Oh, and here's one of Lady Braceley taken on the Spanish steps. Oh, and a snap he took of us all standing in front of the statue of Mithras, looking at Barnaby Grant reading his book.
It is of no interest.
As you say, of no interest.
The members of your party are in the next office. They came to sign their statements. Perhaps you would care to say goodbye to them.
Well, it's quite something to have been trotted about in the dark by a murderer. Even if he was a rude, common sort of man. We'll dine out on it, won't we, Kenny, darling?
And are you staying on in Rome, Miss Jason?
No, I thought I might spend a few days in Florence, stopping off at Arezzo.
And you, Mr. Grant?
I thought I might take a look at Arezzo, too. I've always wanted to see the Piero frescoes.
Forgive me, Mr. Allen, but the photographs that my wife took, if you have finished with them, may we see them?
Of course, Baron, though I fear they will be rather a disappointment. Why don't you come along to my hotel an hour or so? We can have a drink together, and you can take a look at them. I do not think we need trouble the Baroness.
I cannot understand this. There is nothing wrong with Mathilde's camera, the man who processed the film. You say he was a police photographer?
I'm sure he was very careful.
Ah, well, it will all be a great relief to Mathilde. She wanted no record of that place.
You may be interested to see the picture Kenneth Dawn took of us all.
Oh, yes. It is a very clear picture.
Allow me to top up your glass. I wonder if you could do me a favour.
Certainly, if it is possible.
Well, this is a copy of a letter written in Dutch. Will you tell me what it says?
Why do you do this? You ask me here to have a drink with you, and then you show me this? Where did you find it?
It was among Mailer's papers. The police thought it of no importance, and I did not contradict them. My job here is at an end.
Then why show it to me now?
There's no reason for you to get angry, Baron. I assure you I'm acting in good faith. You have my word that I shall take no further action.
Well, you leave me little choice. I must place myself in your hands. It is a letter to someone calling himself Silas J. Sebastian.
It was Mailer. He didn't go to much trouble over his pseudonyms.
It is written by the firm of publishers in which I am a partner. He had asked them if they could give him any information about my wife. He had told them he was writing a series of articles on the subject of the old nobilities. The letter is an answer to that inquiry.
Yes?
It states that the Baroness van der Wegel is a permanent invalid and lives in retirement.
Ah, like the first Mrs. Rochester?
Yeah, like Mrs. Rochester in Jane Eyre.
When did you first encounter Sebastian Mailer?
18 months ago in Geneva.
And he wrote his letter a few weeks later?
He wrote others, extending his inquiries.
And when you met him again in Rome this summer, had you any idea?
None, until a week ago.
And then the blackmailing process began?
Yes.
You presented such a brave face, the pair of you. So much enthusiasm for the ancient world.
Today, before yesterday, at San Tommaso, I was carrying the money demanded of me as the price of silence. The decision had been taken. I must confess, a lightness of spirit came over me, and then there were the Etruscan works of art. I felt myself among friends. I believe that our family, which is of great antiquity, is descended from the Etruscans.
And did you hand over the money?
There was no opportunity.
Well, it must have been a great relief when Mailer disappeared. You were not the only victim in his party, you know.
So I understand. You may not believe me when I say that it would solace me to tell you what it was that he had discovered. But I cannot.
I believe you, Baron.
Mr. Alleyn, I appreciate your great forbearance in keeping Mathilde out of our little conversation. And, now, I go. I know that I am your debtor to an indefinable extent. You would not wish me to say more.
Not another syllable.
May I shake your hand, Mr. Alleyn? I am truly grateful.
By and large, he was the nicest murderer I've ever met.
But how could you be so certain it was him?
It was when I saw Kenneth Dorn's snapshot of us all standing round Grant and his book in front of the altar of Mithras. The Baron wasn't there.
What?
While we were all lined up in that preposterous group, scarcely able to see one another in the dark, the Baroness was talking to him, asking him to stand further back and so on, but he wasn't there. And that's why she made such a business of fiddling about with the flashbulbs and why she got Grant to read that long extract from his book.
Ah, he'd gone off to have his rendezvous with Mailer to hand over the money.
I think he came upon him with Violetta lying dead at his feet. Mailer tried to bolt. There was a struggle. The Baron throttled him and tipped him over the wellhead. And then he came back and stowed Violetta away in the sarcophagus.
I presume he deliberately overexposed the reel of film taken by the Baroness.
But he had no idea that Dorn had taken a snapshot of us all.
So what was it all about? I can see that the Baron and Baroness weren't husband and wife, but...
Well, here's one of the photographs on the Baroness's other reel. They must have asked someone to take a picture of them together.
They've got exactly the same features. The nose, the jaw, the mouth. They might almost be...
I think very probably they're half-siblings. And that wouldn't go down very well with the Baron's religious publishing company. The chairman is fanatically puritanical. Incest, in however remote a degree, would hardly be tolerated.
So, what are you going to do?
Castori Valdano has already made his decision. Everything points to Major Sweet, and he is conveniently dead. Two very unsavory characters at one blow, so to speak. And if that's what the Roman police choose to believe, well...
When in Rome?
Exactly, Bathgate. When in Rome.
Audible hopes you've enjoyed this program.